also Ricardo. New watcher out of Norman here. What's up, Jay? Love the show. Thank you for your insight and your ministry. I appreciate that. You know, the reason we're even live right now, we're just having this conversation, and this guy right here, bug out Bob. I was like, you know, I really want to just hang out with my brothers right now, but it's Thirsty Thursday, and you know, my job is like pretty easy right now. It's talking the sideways iPhone, right? But like, I got all these cool guys here, and we you know, we're enjoying one another's company, and Bob was telling me about an encounter he had with somebody earlier today who was saying they met face to face, and the guy was saying that the reason he had the motivation and the courage to come out of Her My People was because of a live stream. Amen. I was like, well, damn, I guess we're live streaming now. Yeah. So here we are, we're live streaming now. What's up, Mikey? I hope you're doing well, brother. Jared Bryan, Matthew Sled, Tread on This. What's up, Tread on This? Tread on This is awesome. Rendered twice in the same week with a bare fact. One of which is a life saved.
What a badass.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Total badass.
Appreciate you, bro. Yep.
Hey, where do you recommend looking for land in Oklahoma? I don't. Y'all need to quit buying it up. Hey, what's up, tribesman? Shalom, brother.
It's my land.
It's my land. Belongs to my people. I'm a quarter red man, so we were at least relocated here.
This is your land.
It is my land, you know. I just got to go see the chief and let him know.
Someone's driving through
I was
Oklahoma
talking with
to
another brother who's also a card holder, and he was like, yeah, man, if the state gets weird and the tribes get weird, he's like, we'll just put everything in my name, and then it's all yours anyway. I'm like, sweet, dude, let's do it. Like,
Well, you're a filthy colonizer, man.
don't even get me started on that guy, bro. I chopped down firewood. And he went away.
Oh, man. English Chris, shalom, brother. Hey, scriptures is more important than hangout. Work through the scriptures, that's awesome.
Period.
As far as where to buy land in Oklahoma, it depends on what kind of land you want. Like Western Oklahoma, Northwestern Oklahoma is on fire right now. Southwestern Oklahoma is plateaus and desert. Central Oklahoma is kind of flat-ish, a little bit like Kansas, kind of breadbasket-ish. And then South Central Oklahoma and Southeast Oklahoma is kind of like North Texas.
It's kind of like Arkansas.
And Eastern Oklahoma is like Arkansas. So what do you think of Canning pistols? They work. They work a lot better than PSA daggers.
Yeah.
Why? Because they cost twice as much as a PSA dagger. But if you're... guys. See that? What does that say about it? Galaka. How many Glocks are here?
Easy, James. Easy, James.
1, 2, 3, 4. Sig?
Good job.
Five.
Good job.
5 of 8.
You're ruining it.
Negative.
Come on, Robert.
67.5% of the pistols at this men's council are Glocks. More than half. So,
Got a flux capacitor.
Dude, I need a blue wrench because this is ridiculous. Only because I want a t-shirt.
Yeah, he just wants a t-shirt.
where are you? Comment,
I'm
brother.
commenting right now.
Prove it. Let's see.
I'm sitting right here.
Are you Ricardo Rodriguez? Is that you?
No, I'm above
Oh,
it.
there he is.
I'm up there.
Hide user on this channel.
You played yourself.
I have been struggling with this. Is this my will or God's will? Could you touch on this for a moment? Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Luckily, I'm surrounded by brethren who have all, to a greater or lesser extent, but I would say to a greater extent, have been obedient to the Father's will.
Amen.
So, is this the Father's will? First of all, the Father and the Spirit are never going to tell you something that countermands His word. And so you got to know what His word is. And so I would encourage you to dive into His word deeply, because he does not contradict Himself, and His word will not return to Him void. Okay? So is it my will? Usually if it's easy and not scary, the answer to that is yes. If it's big and not easy and scary, that's usually Him.
Yeah.
But it's always definitive for me. I know that it's the Father speaking to me. It's just oftentimes I'm afraid, if we're being honest, I'm afraid to be obedient to that. But obedience brings blessing. Deuteronomy 28. If you diligently obey the voice of Yahweh your Elohim, then you will be blessed. And so, by the way, allergies are horrendous today for myself and half of the attendees this evening. So if
for
you're like,
sure,
Bear,
bro.
why do you look like you've been in a fight? That's why. I've been
better than
fighting
I
with
did 2
pollen
years
today. Yeah.
Hey, Rod. Hey,
So,
off to you.
I was dying to.
Yeah.
You're dying every 6 months.
yeah.
It's not the
So,
pollen, it's the ticks.
Jan and JC finally able to coo him. Praise yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah. That's our peeps.
so, anyway,
that's our peeps.
that's our peeps.
Yeah.
Praise Yah. Is it the Father's will? Like I said, he's not going to tell you to do something to countermand his word. I see you itching over there. What do you got?
So first of all, Yah prefers his own word over his name, right? So absolutely test everything against his word. My big thing with his will is witnesses. 2 or 3 witnesses let everything be established, right? If I have a good brother and I bring something to that good brother and I say, I think the Father's telling me to do this, they'll be able to validate that. And they'll say, man, that really does sound like the Father. That's scary as shit. I'm glad he didn't ask me, but that sounds like the Father. And if I can get a couple of witnesses on that and then test it against the Word, that's a really validating thing. And I can even go so far as once I start the process of listening to his Word, the Spirit will tell me whether I'm doing the right thing or not. If I think that's because I've been misled, right? I've had a spirit versus the Spirit tell me to do something, and I start to do it, and the Spirit's like, "Yo, stop, stupid, don't do that," and I'm like, "Oh shit, my bad." Like, repent, move away from that, turn away, seek His face and forgiveness, and go do what He wants me to do. Like,
Good job, Bob.
because that's a super real thing. That's what I got.
It
on
is.
that.
Good job.
Awesome. Anybody else got anything to add to that?
No, that was beautiful.
Cool.
Can't even trump that.
I saw somebody said, so how do you justify drinking and smoking? I want to answer that in a couple of different ways. The first way I want to answer that is, had you known me a couple decades ago, I probably would have just punched you in the face for that question. And that's not ego or bravado. I would have just smashed your nose through the back of your head and broken your zygomatic arch and then put an elbow in your throat. And I would have been blasted on cocaine and whiskey while I did it. So everything is a game of degrees, right? The man I am today is not the man I was yesterday. The man I'll be tomorrow is not the man I am today, right? So that's the first part. The second part is, as far as drinking is concerned, and different denominations have made a lot of hay out of this. Read Deuteronomy chapter 10. Drinking's okay, drunkenness is not. You cannot be drunk and in service to Yah at the same time.
Yep.
And if you are in a position where when you drink you can't help but be drunk, then you don't need to drink, and that's okay. Some people, and for a while, like, I had to not drink at all.
Yeah.
For like, I don't know, 5 years or so, I didn't drink anything at all because I couldn't drink anything but the bottle.
Yep.
You know, I didn't have that self-control, I didn't have that discipline, and I had to work on me and work on that discipline. And so drinking biblically is okay, drunkenness is not. And then as far as smoking is concerned, is it good for you? Absolutely not. Is your body a temple? Yes. Is there something I should be working on? Probably, honestly. J&B, I asked the question only because I've struggled with drinking and smoking half my life, only asking, Bear. Roger that. Well, luckily, I'm no longer the person who would break your zygomatic arch with my elbow. And I can answer that. And so I'm just telling you my honest truth. Like, this is where I am. Can I strive to be better? Absolutely. Am I? Yeah. Is it a game of degrees? Yeah, absolutely. But if there's anything that you can't do without, like, I just can't do without it, that thing's got a hold on you.
It's a crutch.
And it's a crutch, and you need to not do it. You know, I did 75 hard back-to-back twice. Did 160 days of 75 hard with Sukkot in the middle. Didn't drink a drop. I think that's pretty good proof.
You can go camping with all your homies and not drink. That's a big deal. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
So I don't drink. I will say that Yeshua's first miracle that he was begrudgingly doing for his mother.
For my time has not yet come, woman.
Yeah, but mom was forcing him, right? His first miracle was he got a whole party lit. He literally made the best wine that dude had ever tasted. He's like, what the heck is this? And that is just straight biblical facts, whether you want to acknowledge it or not.
Love you, T.
But still,
Love you.
I
Love you
can't
too,
control
bud.
that. Because if I drink, my favorite line is like, I can't drink just one. I'll drink 2 weeks worth in a day, right?
Yeah.
And so then somebody's gonna have to come get me out of the ditch that I'm in. And so I don't really play that game. And it usually isn't the bottle or anything that causes me the issue. It's like I get a little bit in me, and then I start doing other stuff.
Yep.
And that's my issue. Is I don't have that strength, so I don't open the door, right? Just close the door to that demon. But if you're actually
happen to
struggling
be
with
in
drinking and
right now.
smoking, best advice I ever
It's
got
surreal, bro.
when I was in a
Still.
program for that was don't quit 2 vices at once. Pick the one that's hitting you harder. And in your weakness, his strength is made manifest, right? It's in our humility and submittal to him, right? That's when we're able to actually overcome a actual crutch, I think. I don't
Yep.
know. That's how I did it. I gave it to him because my efforts in sobriety got me drunk again.
Yeah.
Appreciate you,
Or
Bob.
high again. More likely.
Appreciate you, Bob.
I appreciate you, T.
Appreciate all of y'all.
Hey.
Jody knows what I'm talking about.
I do.
Yep. I do. Hey Bears, Shalom, been waiting for the stream all week. Alright, Vault 13, okay. Alright, another witness. What is your opinion on celibacy? Do you believe it's better to maintain it in a bad relationship or move on and find a better relationship? Well, it depends on what that relationship looks like, because here's the thing, the moment you sleep with that woman, whether you like it or not, that's your wife. And you need to treat her as if that's your wife. Now, yeah, that's right. You said the words. There's a handful of relationships between a man and a woman in the Bible. You've got mother, you've got daughter, you've got a servant or a handmaiden, you've got a concubine, and you've got a wife. And if you're having sexual relations with her, it better not be your mom or your daughter. And if you're if you're having sexual relations with your servant, and the servant, in today's day and age is employee, right? And you can go way deeper into that. There's a whole study on that, which we're not going to do on this live stream right now. But the moment you have relations with that person, she's either your concubine or your wife. And you need to figure out what that is. As far as celibacy in a relationship, if it's a committed relationship between you and her and Yah, the Father, then your first command there is be fruitful and multiply. But if it's not, if you need to seek the Father's face on this. As far as celibacy is concerned, it's interesting because Paul talks about this in the New Testament. I wish that y'all could be like I am, right? And not have wives and not have to worry about this and that. And I'm like, I love my wife. And I love everything there is about my wife. And I wasn't completely me until I met my wife. And so the idea of not having my wife, it's like, and Paul, if you read carefully, and I appreciate this, doesn't say you shouldn't have a wife. He says, this is my opinion. I think y'all would be better off if you didn't, because if you didn't, then you could spend more time, rather than trying to please your wife, you could please the Father. And all that to be said, celibacy in a religious setting is neither required nor fruitful when you make doctrines and dogmas out of it, like people who wear dicks on their heads and go to mass on Sunday. Did I just say that out loud?
What are you talking about?
I said that out loud. I'm sorry, everybody.
I'm about to give my testimony on life.
Hold on, there's like a million super chats coming. How do you find a mag of the quality that you guys have if people are actually recruiting, so I know no one in this area is? The number one thing that we have that most people don't is ideological alignment. Yep. You talked about this last time we were here. Jason did. We are immensely ideologically aligned. I don't have to wonder what my brothers think is right and wrong, because we've all agreed what is right and what is wrong. What's up, Kimmy Pfeiffer? Woof. Did you contact PSA and complain? Yes, it's in process. I don't have to worry about what my brothers think is right and wrong. And so we have an incredibly high level of ideological alignment. I would seek that first, because if you start to or try to build a group where you're recruiting people based upon their talents or their skills or their giftings, but you're not ideologically aligned, you don't really have a group. You got to gaggle, and the gaggle, it don't work. So first things first, who are you and what do you want? Know who you are, know what you want, and then start doing that. I was alone here 4 years ago. Alone here 4 years ago. But your vibe attracts your tribe, right? Like, you know, the hippies would be like, put it out into the universe, your energy, and it will return to you. And
Well, can I add to that what you said, TJ?
please do, brother.
You know, I didn't end up here under my own accord. It was, you know, oftentimes you hear obedience brings blessing, and I searched for mags
Wow.
in Texas for a while, and
Pray for him.
it was because of a single instance of obedience. I showed up in Louisiana
from it.
for Hurricane Irma, and didn't expect to meet TJ or the other guys that came down there with him. Got to spend most of the day with Brother Twitch. Blew my mind. I went down there to serve the Father, and next thing I know, they're invite me to their home in Oklahoma. So I would first ask yourself, what are you looking for? What are your motives? Are you selfishly looking for something, or are you looking to serve the Father? And start there, and He'll bless you with what you need. It may not necessarily be this group that's right here. I never emailed TJ and said, hey, can I come join your family? It just happened
Because
to be,
those emails get kicked to the bottom, you know, and I'm like, no, you can't. It
Yeah.
doesn't work that
well,
way.
I didn't even know you guys were going to be there that same day, and sure enough, it was a 24-hour period that we were there.
Yeah.
You know,
But y'all knew.
he
And,
absolutely did.
and your obedience was blessed.
And he gave me a sense of urgency to get down there, and it just happened to be, I was like, I don't know why I have to go now, but I have to go now.
Yeah.
I can
have
give
to
you
go
such
now.
a second witness on
Yeah,
that.
and I show up, and I'm the only one there, and then next thing you know, our contact down there is like, yeah, TJ will be here in 3 hours. So I thought, okay, cool, you know, to hang out with them, and then now I'm sitting here, and that's not necessarily as important as that. I want y'all to know obedience brings blessing. So first, try to align yourself with Yah's will, and I believe that He will give you what you need in your life. You may want something like this, but you may be blessed with something even better than what we have here.
Yep.
So don't underestimate, you know, what you can find out there. But you know, you may not, if you're having the wrong intentions, find it.
That's a really good point. It's a
There's a
really
lot of
good
wisdom
point.
on
I want to say to the YouTube people too.
Here, move that over to Jody so that they can see him. But they got to be able to hear you, brother. You got to be near to
So,
Diaphragm.
if you think you're the only person that's going to modern day Christianity, whatever, you know, whatever you're looking at, and you're hearing truth in this live stream or on some of T's channels, and you're going, man, that's not what my pastor says. Just know that if you read it for yourself and it's speaking to you, then man, follow that. Don't follow what men are trying to teach you, because that's, for me and my wife, that's what changed it for us. Is we were like, we're not listening to anybody. We're going to read this, pray about it, and seek the Father's face. And the miracles and blessings have been so overwhelming that you can't even, it's overwhelming to the point where you can't even calculate it. It's just beyond measure.
Yep.
You're trying to find a mag or a group. If you're doing it by yourself,
Yeah.
you're doing it wrong.
Yeah,
You're
you are.
absolutely doing it
And
wrong.
I was doing it
because-
that way.
Yeah,
And I was
did
doing
too.
it
I
that
think
way
I'm
until I
wrong
started
with
falling
that.
on my face and going, you know,
We
whatever your
realized
will
something
is.
was wrong with the world,
Yeah.
so we're like, oh,
Absolutely.
man, we gotta
Yeah.
find people because
Yeah.
we need people. I'm hearing all these people say we
Yeah,
need
yeah,
people,
yeah.
and it's like I'm trying to do
Yeah.
it all. No,
Yeah.
you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
He's
That's
going to
not it.
put you where you need to be.
That's right.
And if you're doing it without him, I wouldn't trust any of that.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Amen.
Yeah, you can't do it without the Father.
And I'd like to add a little caveat
Take it.
to the
Take
point
it,
that I
Jason.
was making.
Live stream with
Don't show up to
everyone put
grindstone
there.
deployments expecting just to meet all the guys.
No.
If you're going to show up to a grindstone deployment and go because you
Show
want
up
to
to
serve,
work.
yeah,
And help
exactly.
people that need
I
help.
do.
You want to help people. You want to serve the Father.
Yeah.
Don't come expecting that
Yeah.
you're gonna all of a sudden
The
be
boyfriend stuff
recruited.
ain't cutting it.
Yeah, don't be
Fanboy, when it's
hella
time to
weird.
work, you're gonna go home.
do the right thing, and by extension, in everything you do it to serve the Father, and then I think that blessing will come in that. But definitely don't show up to grindstone deployments expecting to.
No.
No, that's not
get
what it's about, man.
It's
It's
not
not
at all.
about like somebody you see that you like really like are encouraged by. It's about like, hey, I feel led to do this because the Father's telling me I need to go do this, and then go do that. Don't go like with expectations, man. Yeah. Go with
Well-
an open heart and a servant's heart. Period.
The people that aren't supposed to be there, the Father doesn't allow to stay there.
Weeded out so fast.
Their
So
skin
fast.
is crawling. You're like, I'm not supposed to be there. We know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great to meet you.
Yeah.
But you need to go be
Bye.
with those people over there. And that sounds. I can understand how arrogant and egotistical that would sound, but we live it, we do it. I've seen it over and over and over. We've deployed 30 times a grindstone at this point.
Yeah.
Like it's just it all begins with that obedience, right?
That's what I was thinking.
Beard vote. Somebody said we need a beard
I'm
vote.
glad you were on there.
That's beautiful.
It was all you for a minute.
So
Hey,
Donnie
good job,
O'Keefe
brother.
said, "Thank you, Bob. I would like to know what I should do as I am the brother of the Idaho shooter. I'm shamed and greatly disappointed in him. Is there any advice I should receive during this hardship?" Absolutely. You didn't do it, so let's start with that.
Yeah.
You didn't do it. He did. He's your brother. You didn't do it. That being said, so don't take responsibility that's not yours. Now, being ashamed of your brother, okay, what can you do? Like tactical, physical, tactile, what can you do? You can pray. You can give it to the Father. And those emotions that you're feeling, that's a biomechanical feedback mechanism. The question here is, what can you learn from this?
Yeah.
And how can you help him or the families that were affected by this or whatever may happen here? I can only imagine what it would feel like to be the brother of somebody who was a shooter. Praise the Father, I've never had to go through that, but something snapped and it wasn't you. And that's the thing you got to understand. It feels like it's akin to survivor's guilt.
Good job,
Right?
T. Good job, T.
It feels like it's akin to survivor's guilt. Not you, not your fault. And even that, this ultimately gets down to, because you're at the core of the nexus of, why does the Father allow bad things to happen to good people? His will. What can you learn from that? And that's the thing, like, I'll tell you, my immediate takeaway is, nothing is guaranteed. Nothing. Bolt of lightning could come out of the sky right now and smoke me. And I had a great day today. I spent time with people that I love. I spent time with my family. I was productive today. Did meaningful things. Like, every day is a new life. Every sleep is a mini death. Like, that's how I try and live, honestly. Like, tomorrow,
That's real, bro.
that's a new life, right? And like, you got to make everything you can out of that. Don't take shit for granted. People die all the time. Humanity has a 100% mortality rate. Unless you're Elijah or Enoch, like, even Yeshua died. He was dead for 3 days.
Yeah.
The Messiah was dead for 3 days. Unless you're
Fire.
Elijah or Enoch, humanity has a 100% mortality rate. And so that whatever that is that's akin to survivor's guilt that I don't have a word for, you need to use that as a biomechanical feedback mechanism and learn how to do better for you out of this. And You need to counsel your brother if you can. See, guilt is a really damaging emotion, because what's going to come next from the guilt is, I should have been better. I wasn't good enough. I should have stopped it. I should have said something to him. How come I couldn't? Blah, 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 blah. And you will literally beat the shit out of yourself until the next thing you know, there's a gun in your mouth and you're like, F it, I'm next. No. Negative. All that internal dialogue, all of that, it's from the enemy. It's not the Father, and it's not you. And so don't let that seep in there. Does the situation suck? Yes, absolutely. This sucks. You know who went through some real shit? There's a guy named Job. There's a whole book about him in the Bible.
I was just thinking about Job, yeah.
And the whole lesson of Job is, this shit sucks. Praise Yah.
And Job never gets
A direct answer from Yah as to why all those bad things are happening to him. And so I think that, we may wonder, why are these bad things happening? And we don't necessarily have the capacity to comprehend all of existence like the Father does. And to think for a second that we will know everything that he's doing and his motives and why it's happening, it's almost irrelevant to ponder those things. Have faith that he does love you and that there is a purpose for everything that's happening. It may not seem so in the times of struggle that you're experiencing, but there's absolutely a purpose to everything that happens. And that's...
Yeah, for sure. Kosher Cajun, if you're out there listening to us right now, man, we're praying for you and your family, brother.
Yes,
Absolutely.
we are.
Absolutely.
Yes, we are. What were you going to say?
And we love you.
And we love you. Amen.
A lot of people will focus on Job and they'll see the end, right? He was rewarded sevenfold for his faithfulness. He got everything back to him, right? And then some. It wasn't the same family. It wasn't the same wife. It wasn't the same kids. It wasn't the same herd. He still lost all of that. And he still had to feel all of that. And the Father rewarded him through his faithfulness, absolutely. But the Father still allowed him to go through all of that.
And Bob, he didn't tell him, hey, Job, you're going to get this at the end of this.
No.
Just be a good boy. Be a good boy, and I'll hook you up when it's all over with.
And the craziest thing is we have a saying around here, this sucks, praise Yah, right? Because we praise him in the hardest moments, right? This sucks,
Amen, brother.
praise
Yeah,
Yah,
yeah.
right? And Job did that, right? His whole family died. This sucks, praise Yah.
Yep.
He's covered head to toe in boils. You can't move, you can't sit. You cannot sit down, you cannot stand up. This sucks, praise Yah, right? You're at a moment where you can prove yourself faithful to Yah. Does it suck? Dude, my heart weeps for you. I can't comprehend what you're going through. I really can't.
Well, and the whole time his peers are telling him that, basically it's his fault. They're all trying to rationalize somehow how it was all his fault that all these things are happening. Yeah. And so not only is he questioning what is happening to him, but the people around him are blaming him for all the bad stuff.
It ain't yours to own, man.
Well, but so the story of Job gives context to the question of why does bad stuff happen to good people? Because if you read Jubilees, I believe it's Jubilees, Job is recounted in the book of Jubilees, which is the Apocrypha non-canonical text, which is a whole different rabbit hole we're not going to get into right now. Used to be part of the Bible, now it's not. And the way it's recounted in Jubilees was, in Jubilees, Satan is referred to as Prince Mastema. And Prince Mastema comes to the throne of Yah and he says, you have this servant, his name's Job, and he loves you with everything he's got. And Yah's like, yep, love that guy. He's awesome. And Prince Mastema says to the Father, he says, hey, he only loves you because of all the awesome shit you gave him. And Yah says, absolutely not. He loves me with everything that he's got. And Satan, Prince Mastema, says, cool. Well, then let me take everything he has away from him except you. And I bet you he folds. And the Father says, not my Job. He won't do it. The prince says, let's see what happens. So he does. And the Father allows Hasatan, Satan, Prince Mastama, the enemy, the Nahash, pick your name, that asshole from days of old, to attack Job with everything that he has, to strip him down to there's nothing left but Job and the Father. And through that entire process, Job is like, this shit sucks. Praise Yah. And then the enemy, Prince Mastama, Satan, has to go back to the throne of Yah and admit, you were right. You were right. He does love you with everything he has. I took everything from him I could take, except you. And he never capitulated. He never spoke negative about you. He never gave up. He loves you with everything he's got. That's one of the 2 prime commands from Yeshua. Love the Lord your God, Yahuwah your Elohim, with everything you've got, with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might, comma, and love your neighbor as yourself, right? And so why does bad shit happen to good people? Because the world that we're in right now is a fallen, broken world. And for a period of time, the enemy has been given dominion to make bad shit happen to good people. And it sucks. But when it happens, the whole point of that is not to draw us away from the Father, to create distance in between us and the Father, but to strip away everything that could be in between us and the Father, so that we're completely laid bare. We have no option but to go back to him. He's the only thing we have left, to return back to him and to praise him in that moment and go, I absolutely effing hate this shit. Praise Yah. So, yeah.
Good point, T.
Thanks, guys.
We are right where we are supposed to be.
Amen. Kevin F. said, I purchased a camper trailer and have a plot of land in southwest Missouri. You showed us the way every step of this journey. Newborn son and young daughter will know God in the land away from Satan. You are working through him. Thank you.
Praise Yah.
Praise Yah, man. And then, you know, we were talking earlier about obedience. I'll be straight up honest with you. I wanted to hang with my brothers rather than do this live stream. And then when Bob earlier was recounting that story about, yeah, hey, Eric, we'll do left arm here in a moment. When Bob was recounting that story of that guy who said that he had the motivation and the courage to come out of Her My People because of a live stream. The spirit just descended on this little group of
Praise
of 9 men.
Praise
Right.
Yah.
That's
Amen.
it. All right,
Yep.
we're live streaming,
Okay,
and now we're here.
let's talk
right?
about some really heavy shit.
Freaking coincidence, right?
Oof.
Let's work through some shit.
Yeah.
All right, well,
Oh shit, bro.
oh man.
Fucking love us. Dude.
Hey, Borosaurus Rex, shalom, bro.
Oh, dude, that guy is a badass.
I can't wait to see that dude.
Dude,
Somebody just said I got shot in the left arm, and so luckily for you, I had a tourniquet. Oh, no! I'm not even in a hurry, bro.
We're all gonna die.
Oh, I guess I'm gonna die.
I'm not dying because of you. Cody, you actually got one, brother.
Everybody has one.
Hey. Oh, he's got one now. Ow! Oh, that's the last one.
Damn it, Yank, you should have said something. I got a spare.
Yeah, I got next one.
I got another one right here.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Time.
Because everybody has a tourniquet on.
Mine's so low right now.
Every
my bicep
single
hurts.
one of
Yeah,
This
my
is
biceps
why you
hurt
go
a
to
little bit.
Refuge Medical
Arm no
Training.
longer
Right
hurts.
here.
Can't feel
Right
it.
here.
Why you train?
Prove it.
Robert's checking his distal pulse. Good job, brother.
That's what it's all about.
Good job.
Is it working? I can't feel my hand.
It's working.
Yeah,
Look at the vascularity in the back of my hand.
there's nothing there.
I'm gonna leave mine on for a hot minute because people always bitch about, hey, what's up, Brian? Life number 35, Brian, right there. It's awesome.
Praise Yah.
Praise Yah, right? Just
Right
just
on,
little
Brian.
things.
A quick little show around for everybody so they can see that all of
Oh
our
yeah, so all of our guys are now taking their tourniquets off. They had them on. Everybody's got a tourniquet on.
gotta have it ready.
Are you running a soft
Jody.
tea?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tactical operator. Nice.
He's got the ankle kit.
Nice.
That's the ankle kit, bro. That thing's good.
Nice. I've
Did you go through to get it?
It's got
pocket. So in addition to this tourniquet, and this is
it.
not playing. This like I just went this way. Tourniquet on this arm, pocket kit in this pocket. SWAT tee, large Sharpie. Let's see.
Pocket dump.
Dude, if I had to wear this for 12 hours,
Another
this sucks
cat.
crazy off.
Yeah. Hey, you know
embrace the
what?
suck.
You're alive to complain about how bad it sucks.
That's
I
right.
remember you
Embrace the
telling
suck,
telling
Dad.
that story about that Navy corpsman that couldn't stand it anymore. And he loosened his shit and he died.
Yeah.
Oh,
I just told that story yesterday. I was
right on the buff part.
honored to do the world's fastest stop the bleach training ever yesterday at a high school, and a pair of shears as well.
Is it starting to like tingle?
So yeah, it doesn't feel good.
It's pins and needles at first, man.
So if you come to the Responder 3, we like not only do you have tourniquets on basically the whole time, but you have to also do some fairly complex things in tourniquets. But is your SWAT tee Gucci camo? No. I'm wearing Marpat because it's the right camo. So you're a walking trauma unit. That's right. Well, I've made this comment before and I mean it. If you're gonna wear a little patch on your arm that says medic, you better have more shit than just what you need, and you better know how to use it.
Period.
So, yeah. All right, I've had enough.
Your arm's dead. You're fine.
And if you need to know how to stage your tourniquet, so spare dependent, tourniquet.
There was three that could ride it out with you. Three. Just you, Rod, and freaking Matt. That
So
was
the
it.
Oh, I thought we were supposed. I would
Uh,
have kept it on. I ain't a bitch.
I didn't know, yeah.
Mine raised up, baby. I'll put it back on.
I got 5 on it, all right? Come on.
Oh, I'm bleeding out again.
reset.
Man,
There we
that
go.
Clotted. I'm good to go.
would suck. You had to wear that shit for hours.
Not a chance, dog.
10 minutes at a minimum with direct pressure. Come on, Jode.
All right, man.
I forgot how this feels, not feeling so good. Yeah, what's up, Buster?
There's like 100 people with tourniquets on right now. They're like, I'm fucking with you, man.
I love it. I love it.
That shit's
Yeah.
badass, dude.
It's funny how it like became a feature of the channel.
YouTube,
know,
you just got shot in the left arm.
This wasn't
No,
a thing in
every
Canada
one of you
until
is
said
shot
something
in the
about Canadians.
right leg.
Go,
Go.
Yeah,
go, and comment
I
when
wanna
you're
see the
when you're
time.
up.
Yeah,
I want to see the time. I'm
I want you to
watching.
tourniquet-
You're timed.
For real.
YouTube.
Tourniquet your right leg, stand up, run out your front door, run around your house, run back in, and then sit down, and then you can take it off.
Come on, Rex, do it.
And if you
And
think,
then have Twitch yell at you for a little while.
and if you think that shit sucks, do not come to the Responder 3.
Yeah,
Just don't
for sure,
don't
yeah.
even come to the Responder 3. You've been to the
Oh,
Responder
yes.
3, right? Oh yeah.
Yeah, it kicks your ass.
Oh yeah, man. It's
Yeah, you learn
designed
to appreciate it
Yeah.
when it's done.
Well, what happens is at one point that like your whole mindset shifts. We've literally had a lot of people forget that they're even wearing tourniquets, and sometimes like multiple tourniquets. They'll have an arm and a leg tourniqueted while they're triaging other people, dragging casualties.
I don't think you could forget that you have the tourniquet on if you have it on right.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, yeah.
effing
There
good.
Yeah.
Sure, so I'm shot with what?
I ain't putting a tourniquet on for a Nerf bullet.
Not a paintball gun, Sarah.
I did that to Renee. I did the whole filmed her and said you got shot in the right arm, and she sat
Dudley,
down.
yell when you're outside.
Like, I died. So I put it on TikTok.
Oh no.
I keep tourniquets on all 4 limbs at all times,
Just in case.
Good job.
Somebody's read the Ranger's handbook.
Yeah.
That shit's
Done.
fire.
Hurts. Yeah, you're doing it right.
See the guys
Oh,
that take
what's
the
up,
red
Drew?
tab
Bro,
and
we
have them
smoked
pulled
so
out
many
of the
people in
pocket.
Indy today.
There's Dudley. He just yelled.
Dudley. That's our brother across the creek right there.
That's a badass mofo.
Somebody
You know
said
he's got a
jelly
tourniquet
leg.
on, too.
Oh yeah. Give it 20 minutes
Yeah.
and see how jelly
Yeah.
leg that is.
You won't even be able to use it.
Stanky leg.
Oh, man. Oh, Buster, you're okay. You can take it on now.
Dudley is one of those guys that has to
Pickle
be
Weasel
shot.
said, I love the
So what's your cigar?
Polyphia song you shared earlier. Thank you. I love that. Those guys are awesome.
I know a guy. I know a guy who's like
Am I saying their name right? I think it's Polyphia. Yeah, Polyphia. Polyphia. Those guys are badass musicians. They're not, it's not metal. Like, I wouldn't even know, like, it's not progressive rock. I wouldn't even know how to describe it. They're just really good, excellent musicians. So, all from the diaphragm. That's right. If you're wearing a tourniquet, I know I had good shot placement. Timothy, if you had good shot placement, you would have shot me in the Terminal T and I wouldn't need a tourniquet. Come on now.
Yeah.
Get it in the box.
Velvet girdle is my go-to.
Yeah, I like the pelvic girdle.
Yeah, it's gonna be the go-to now.
You're gonna have yellow, brown, and red coming out of 2 new holes. For real, bro.
For real though, the new Mozambique drill is 2 to the pelvic girdle, 1 to the head.
It's the hardest to treat.
And yeah, absolutely, because the proliferation of body armor, there's no good reason to shoot people in the chest anymore because there's an expectation of body armor. So 2 to the pelvic girdle, which gives you a deep femoral bleed that's incredibly hard to deal with, as well as a mechanical stoppage to the 2 largest joints in your body, and then 1 to the head. Yeah, you're done. Lights off.
Could you imagine though, like from Black Hawk Down, when that dude had to go up that dude's leg to try and chase that?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But now it's not your leg. It's like.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
yeah. Dude, no.
Yep.
Just say a prayer and let me go.
That's what Curb Kelly hemostats are for. What kind of cigar today? This is a Cigars International knockoff of a Romeo y Julieta, which I like a lot, and they're like $2.50 a stick. And this is a Fat Bottom Betty from Deadwood Tobacco Company that I will enjoy after this one.
Yeah, buddy.
So, because they can't all be greatest hits, So
you gotta throw some. Yeah. You gotta throw some.
I have a budget, I have a budget, believe it or not.
I want to make like that Halo Spartan diaper.
I'm sitting in front of my sheep shed, and that's an old ratty tarp that's been out there for the last 2 years. I'm not exactly rolling in it. I'm just
That's a green screen, bro.
Oh, I'm sorry. You like the way we programmed the sun to set on the green screen today? So
You couldn't program a Padron in your hand?
we're working on it. We only have so much computing power. We went with nice sunset this evening rather than fancy
Listen,
cigar.
I'm only given a $5 budget for each month.
Oh man! All right, what other questions we had? I had a pelvic girdle shot in Arizona once. Yukon Mint and Jack. Okay, well that sounds terrible. Prep coffee in freeze-dried bricks or beans and mylar. Bare metal, that's a great question. So I have a massive quantity of the large cans of Folgers, because if you don't, you're wrong. And that's like short term. And then I also have green beans, non-roasted beans from disastercoffee.com. And they come in, their prepper pack is like, I think it's a 5-pound bag. And you can get 4 of those in a bucket. And then I also have a bunch of freeze-dried coffee as well, and instant coffee. And because the reason we're preparing is to perpetuate normalcy for the people that we love. And a life should be worth living. I want friggin' coffee, whether or not the world has ended. I want coffee. And I know how much coffee I drink, and I know how much coffee we drink. And so once per week, I go to the store. The feed store actually has flats of Folgers, 6 cans on a flat cardboard thing for like $30. And I'm like, I'm already here. I'm already spending money on feed. So I get a flat of and actually now it's part of what Dudley does for me, is like whenever Dudley goes and gets feed, I'm like, get a flat of coffee.
I can validate it. It happened yesterday.
Yeah, for sure. And so, like,
I was about to ask what feed store, but that's obsecki.
Yeah,
I'll take 2.
I roll my own tobacco. How can you store tobacco for long-term or longer use?
Grow it.
I don't know if you can. My answer would be grow it.
Yeah.
I think even a 10 by 20 greenhouse you can get off of Bezos's 5th yacht for a couple $100, and you could. I've grown tobacco a few times. I've never been successful at it, but I have a couple brothers that have been. you can get 14,000 tobacco seeds for like $20 on Amazon. And you know, it says in the Bible, faith the size of a mustard seed can move a mountain. They should have said tobacco seed, because them little shits are astronomically tiny. They're like they don't run on regular physics. Yeah, it's quantum physics. when you're dealing with tobacco seeds, they're like, if
use microscopes to
for
see
real,
the shit.
if you licked your finger and stuck it into a package of tobacco seeds, no shit, you'd have 500 of them on the tip of your finger.
And in 90 days, they're 10 million times the
Yeah,
size of a
exactly.
seed, like literally.
So my prep for long-term tobacco is like, first of all, cigars will keep in a humidor for a year or two if they're kept appropriately. And so, you know,
If they're kept appropriately, almost indefinitely.
Oh.
You can store cigars for a long time. In fact, everybody talks about Cuban cigars. They age very well. But if you maintain your humidity and your temperature at 70, the rule is 70-70. That's the general rule for the cigar industry. So you want to have 70% humidity, 70 degrees Fahrenheit. If you store it at that, most of your cigars will store indefinitely. Some will get better with age, some will lose flavor with age. So it depends on the blend type of tobacco. But you can, as long as you maintain those temperatures, above about 80 degrees, you risk mold and bacterial growth and something called cigar beetles, which will destroy all your cigars.
so you've done zero research on this,
I know,
clearly.
I know.
It's just shooting
I don't
from the
even
hip.
like cigars.
Testimony to that.
Send it.
There was a cigar shop.
Speak from your diaphragm.
There was a cigar shop that I went to in York, Pennsylvania a couple of years ago, and they had pre-embargoed Cuban tobacco in bushels that a farmer had a room humidor in his barn, and he had 7 bushels of pre-embargo Cuban tobacco, and it was like 1954, I think.
Wow.
And dude, it was amazing. And they had a bushel that they bought from him in the humidor at the tobacco shop, and there was a Cuban immigrant that was rolling the tobacco.
Hell
It was freaking
yeah.
awesome.
Well, and a lot of your nicer cigars, the tobacco itself is actually aged anywhere from 1 to 15 years before they even roll the cigar.
Yep.
So some of your nicer cigars are going to be 7 to 12 years the tobacco will be aged, and then they roll it. And it's something you consider if you are going to grow your own tobacco, learn to smoke a pipe, because it's a lot easier to make pipe tobacco.
Yep.
It's not only got to be dried, but fermented and then aged, and then you have to have somebody that knows what they're doing. You have to select wrapper and binder leaves and filler leaves, so learn to smoke a pipe.
So what I'm hearing from all of this is A, learn to smoke a pipe. I like that. B, it sounds like
Tobacco
pipe, yes. Tobacco pipe.
pipe.
Simmer down, YouTube. Simmer down.
They're like, Bear told me to smoke that.
There's a meme waiting to happen.
Oh, God. Somebody is gonna pull this and just tomorrow on TikTok, which I'm not even on. I'll be like, oh, it's gonna be a mess.
I love
Be
you
a
guys
super
when you
cut of
can't come to
bear.
live streams.
Bad PR is still good PR.
What did what's his face say? P.T. Barnum. There's no such thing as bad press. Just spell my name right. So what I'm hearing based upon all this is it sounds like if you were to vacuum seal tobacco, like roll your own tobacco, you'd probably be good for a long while.
With humidity packs. So the industry standard are Bovida packs, and it's basically salt water with an osmosis membrane, and you can.
Big word, no, smaller
Some
words.
next level stuff, bro. We need to write that down so we all know this.
The next place I'm investing is your cigar shop.
Yeah, right.
Me and our brother from the police force have talked about that.
Okay.
quite a lot,
Sold. Get with me after.
See me
Tell me
after
what-
class.
Tell me what you need.
As long as you supply humidity to them, every once in a while, a little bit of fresh oxygen does help. So Tupperware or even coolers work really well. Just make sure your humidity is good. You can store cigars for the apocalypse.
There you go. And I wonder if like we're talking about like cigarettes or something. Like cigarettes kind of taste like ass anyway.
Yeah,
so
they're bad for you.
Bad.
this dude needs to do a seminar on this. Rex said, "Amen." You are the
Rex said it.
Taborosaurus Rex of cigar tobacco.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's a high compliment.
Yeah.
Dude, that's
Thanks, Rex. Thank you.
That is beautiful. Pipe tobacco can also be rehydrated if it dries out. Beautiful. Absolutely.
I'm
Green
smoking acid tonight,
lights.
fo.
What's up, man?
That's awesome.
Smoking
man.
acid
That's
tonight.
really cool.
That was
Super
beautiful.
sweet.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
See,
job.
like
Y'all brings you people, right?
I was just gonna say, like, I might be a little cool, but we are together super cool. Like that's the
Yeah,
thing.
for
Like,
sure.
Oh.
you know,
Somebody said, "Can I buy stock?" It's not public yet.
Yeah, not yet,
We
yeah.
haven't started trading.
Coming soon.
Hebrew
finish a couple
humidors?
other projects.
hey, what's up, Hop? As if stocking food and water wasn't already hard enough. Hey, Hop, we need to do some hood rat shit together sometime. Shoot me an email or fucking Instagram or whatever. I don't know what you kids are into these days, but I love Hop's channel, man. He has excellent reviews of, like, first of all, the whole comment on, like, drunk Leopold, when, like, Leopold makes a design, like, because most Leopold designs are like something Grandpa would have been into on his hunting rifle, but occasionally Leopold gets drunk and makes something really cool. and, like, I love that term. And then also, just like, his reviews are like 6 to maybe 15 minutes long, and they're like super to the point, good information, but very much so, like, there's always the indication that just below the camera are 2 middle fingers that you can't see. And, you know, and I love that. Like, I just love that.
They pretty
And
much
so,
ride there.
yeah, they live there, and I love that. And so I'm a fan, Hop. I'm a fan. I'm not trying to fanboy or anything, but I appreciate your content, and we should coordinate and do cool shit together. So when is the what's up, NWA Prepper? When is the Bear Cigar and Gun Store opening? We were all right. So in the mouths of two. We were just talking about this the other day. Like, I'm gonna buy a strip mall, and through this door is a liquor store. Through this door is the tobacco shop, and through this door, yeah, the ATF store, and through this door is guns, alcohol, liquor, tobacco, like
Tobacco.
Yeah.
One shot for other.
Exactly. I think the ATF store needs to be a thing, and we live in Oklahoma where there's 4 laws, and I don't think any of those laws are against that. So,
As long as you have a door that locks in between them all, you're good.
plus we have so many badass administrators. I feel like in a day we could have this handled.
I'm
Probably,
already
you
thinking
know?
about
Yeah,
how to file the
probably.
paperwork for the FFL in my head right now.
Oh,
I'm trying to
done.
think of locations.
Talk to you.
So,
I'm like, we can get that bitch set up.
oh yeah.
I kind of like Does It Suck videos. Hey, what's up, Andy Barnes? Shalom, brother.
It's fun to watch.
Oh, shucks. Oh, Hop. That's all right. I don't mean to make you blush, bro. It's okay. What's up, Bear? Always good to hang out with you in the tribe. I appreciate that, Donald.
Take it to the range once a week.
They love when the tribe's here. These are
You need to have a store for sheep and cattle meat and all your veggies.
We're working on that too.
We-
We are working
so-
on that too.
No shit. That's in the pipeline.
Yeah.
And it's like this far from completion. Clean Meat Co. That's not my business. It's a brother's business. But I'm like super excited for that because I have sheep and cattle that I know how to kill. I know how to eat. And I would much prefer it if somebody else killed them for me so I could eat them.
And a brother that also loves alcohol, tobacco, and firearms.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a great fit. I mean, we'll stock the meat, we'll have the cigars.
I thought
all
I
the
brought
brothers
this
will
up
be
like
there.
a year plus ago.
Okay.
Yeah. We got- this needs to be a
Approved.
thing.
Approved.
I need to see a business plan. What's the initial investment? What's the ROI? What can I expect? Yeah, like, I'm in. I'm in.
The ROI is all the
Go on
alcohol,
it
tobacco,
tomorrow.
firearms, and shit you can
The
eat.
ROI is everything it costs. That's
I know what we're doing tomorrow, fo.
I mean, you are part Native American. Make this happen, Bear.
Could we pull the native card? Is that an option with the gun store?
I'm pretty sure, we should figure.
Oh,
Oh
fuck
man,
yeah.
between you, hey,
Let's just
between
make
your brother up there, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool ATF.
And reservation. Beautiful. Love it.
There's gonna be a green store next door as well.
Shalom, Desert Jackal. Love the Patreon. If you're not on Patreon, you're wrong. Fix yourself. Thanks, American. I appreciate that.
That's a fucking dope review.
Sounds like Old Mall needs to be picked up. Each storefront can have a different theme. Could you imagine if we took over a mall? Oh my gosh. I don't even
People
know.
already
That's
ask
a
questions
base
about where we are.
Any,
They're already like, what's happening there?
any chance of some Bear drum beats for time lapse in your videos? But honestly, probably not. And I'll tell you why. There's 2 reasons why. The first is drums are mine. Thank you. Appreciate you, Blake. The first is drums are mine. I shared like pretty much every other facet of my life with y'all. I don't get on YouTube, I don't get deep into business. I do talk about business a little bit on Patreon. But between YouTube and Patreon, I mean, y'all have literally seen my kids grow up. Like, you've watched Aspen learn to walk.
Watch us grow.
You know, like you've watched me go from alone in the woods, nobody, to blessed by all these people around me. Like you've seen my life, and so drums are mine. And then the second reason is, even if drums weren't just mine, if I was going to share them with you, there's actually a good amount of work that goes into recording drums, mixing drums, taking that track and using that as a backing track on a piece of video. And I do all of my video is done on an iPhone.
Yep.
All of it. Like, I've thought about getting like high, you know, when I say high speed, I don't mean like multiple frames per second. I mean like cool guys who jump out of helicopters, high speed. I thought about getting cool guy cameras, high speed cameras. I thought about like, I've thought about all that stuff. And the fact of the matter is, for my life and the way I live my life, having an iPhone 13 on a cheap Amazon tripod gets the job done. And I have like 6 tripods.
It's a testimony. I mean, if you think
Yeah.
about it, like all these people put so much money into like production and stuff for YouTube and everything like that, and it's like you're coming up on 200,000. PJ's at I think almost 200,000 subscribers, and you
Yep.
guys both are like iPhone
Yeah.
tripod.
iPhone tripod.
Content.
It works. And I've been accused as having the best information with the worst production quality on the internet.
Amen.
And I'll take
Yes.
it.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Because
Absolutely.
because I don't have
Yes.
I don't have time for the production quality. I'm not trying to get you in with like a smooth intro.
This ain't a show, it's
And-
life, bro.
That's exactly right.
Real
Bless
people
you,
don't
brother.
like that
people
anyway.
doing real
Yeah,
shit.
Real
it
people
ain't a
don't like
show,
that
it's
anyway.
life.
Yeah.
It's really not a green screen.
Now fall down.
So, you know, like
Which way is the electric fence?
The
electric
fence.
fence is down. And it's at 8,000 volts right now, so don't. But you know, it's
That's how you cook your sheep.
there's like 2 sides because of the time that I have and the commitment level that I have. There's two opposite ends of the spectrum I could pour into. One would be production quality, and then the other would be quantity or frequency of the amount of times that we touch base each week, you and I. I don't have the interest or the time for the production quality thing. I don't want a high-speed intro. I don't want like good lighting. My lighting is fixing to go to shit here in a matter of moments, and that's okay.
Flashlights.
Because my ego's not wrapped around whether or not I stay on this live stream for another hour or 2. If the lighting goes to shit, I'll be like, hey, I love y'all. Have a great evening. Good night. You know, I don't need all the fancy bells and whistles to make y'all like me. If you don't like me, pound sand, go away. It's okay. Like, it's totally okay if you don't like me. And if you're here, if you don't want to be here because the audio quality sucks or the lighting is subpar, you're missing the whole point in the first place. Like, we're real people, and I share my life with you. And if my life is inadequate for you, take your compass out, pick a direction, and F off in that direction. It's as simple as that. So,
Hey, Mother's
Shalom,
brother's good.
Tactically
She
Torah.
said, just real, please.
Tactically
Mother's brother.
Torah.
Amen.
Good job.
That's a good
So-
channel. Subscribe to Tactically
Tactically
Torah.
Torah, yep.
Yeah. Shalom, bro.
So, Liberty Off-Road, Shalom. What else we got? What other questions we got? Questions. The lighting will get better.
All caps, please.
Oh, thank you, Joe. You know, we didn't do the rules for the live stream this evening, which is, I guess, good because we were talking about more important things. What are the wives doing? Great question. It's actually ladies' night tonight. So we're in the, here, real life, right? They're partying at the gazebo right now on all the folding chairs. And so, like, talk about Hebrew slave labor. We got this done in like 92 seconds. We are sitting on hay bales that have slabs of pine wood on them, And then the brothers took some rocks and made a fire pit, and we got a fire going.
There happened to be a pallet of rocks
there was a pallet of rocks. I'll give you that.
And hashtag party is Bible study.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So they're partying and Bible studying down at the gazebo right now, and we're hanging out in the front yard.
We climbed a tree for lighting.
You climbed a tree for lighting, and so when I said, "Hey, my lighting's gonna go to shit in a few minutes," we threw a rope light up into the tree because again, it's real life, and if my real life is inadequate for you,
Goodbye.
it's
Pick a new azimuth.
Pick a new azimuth. I love that. Yep. So my life for me is incredible, and I'm super blessed. And if that's not doing it for you, then so be it.
Texas T, what up?
What's up, Texas
up,
T? Shalom, brother.
That's a good brother right there.
So that's where the ladies are at. They're down at the gazebo, hanging out, fellowshipping.
No, it's
Do you
not
guys
the same.
carry SOB kits most often because of form factor? I bought one because it's by far the most convenient to wear daily. Yes, and so I have an SOB kit on my war belt. I have an SOB kit. My war belt. You have to say it, operative. War belt.
Of course, you call me, bro.
You have to say it like you have the sands of Iraq in the back of your throat every time you say that. War belt. So I have one on my war belt. I have one on my plate carrier. And then I run the inner, which is called the pocket in my, drum roll please, pocket right here.
I should be in
But
the photo daddy.
that's for on my person. Thank you, brother.
You're not a good friend if you call me Forrest.
But I've also run the bear fac on my
You're a good
war
friend, you call me
belt.
Fo.
Actually where I've run a bear fac is more like a combat harness, more like the old school deuce gear, suspenders and a belt, with canteens and mag pouches and all that.
Real.
And I honestly still love that setup.
I like running the fac, like the full-size fac
Yeah.
on my pack.
Yeah, a fac on your pack is like for real, and they work great in vehicles. And then the bare minimum for the longest time, up until we had the SOB kit, the bare minimum lived on my plate carrier, and I run it upside down, and so that I can flip the top cover down, and then grab the handle and pull down with either hand, pops right out.
You have more strength that way.
Yeah, you
going
have
down than up.
exactly, and it's easier to get at that way. And even after we came out with the SOB, I still rocked a bare minimum on my plate carrier for a while. And then I think it was Twitch. Twitch was like, dude, have you tried one of these on a plate carrier? And I was like, why would I? I have a bare minimum. He's like, try it. And then I tried it.
It's fire.
And I was like,
It's fire,
oh,
bro.
this is actually pretty cool. So,
As the kids say, it is fun.
yep.
Yeah.
I believe the kids these days are saying 100%.
100%. It is 100%. It is
100%.
gas.
That's 100,
Gas,
bro.
That's
gas.
100.
gas is expensive.
Yeah, right. I mean, good
Gas
quality.
prices are
Only because of Putin, I heard. It's
Yeah.
just because of Putin.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
nothing happening before then.
Nope.
Does
Weren't
Hami
they
still sell or
saying back
work
in,
with
like,
essential
2018
oils?
that it was Trump's fault and he had
Yeah,
full
so Harmony
power
has an
to change
affiliate
the price
link
to
with
Dude, remember when it
Young
was
Living,
97
and if
cents?
you're just gonna have to email us in order to get the link, because I don't have a freaking idea what it is. So email admin at Bear Independent. We can hit you up with that.
COVID, gas is cheap, I don't care.
Bearfax will work with Sposa and Latutzik rigs, but only the webbing, it's too bulky in the front. What's up, Boris Karkov? Would you ever build a bunker? Yes, but it would probably be like one of the last things that I did. And I think that if you live in a place where building a bunker on your list of priorities is not one of the last things you need to do, you probably live in the wrong place.
That's super real.
And
If you're like hella concerned with a bunker, you might need to leave where you are. Realistically, like, you're probably in the absolute opposite area of where you need to be. I think about a bunker the negative amount of percent. I think about a bunker in times like this, and somebody's like, "You ever thought about a bunker?" I'm like, "Huh, that would be cool."
I think the main utility for a bunker is for tornadoes.
Yeah, that.
It's basically a coffin.
Yeah.
Right.
You can die in there with all of your food stores, all your freeze-dried food, when you can't get out because the marauders are standing on the door.
Build a root cellar and be happy.
There you go.
There you go. That'll probably give better ROI than
Brother
a
Robert
bunker.
said built a root cellar and
You'll
be
be
happy.
able to pass that off to your wife as well.
Hey, what's up, Texas T? Shalom, brother. All these super chats. Granite Patriot, Shalom, brothers. What are your thoughts on how to store soy after you harvest? I have no idea. I've never harvested soy. I really don't know. I wish that I did. Just got my Bearfac. Still waiting on my 3.0. Thanks, bud. Thank you, Modern American Patriot. And then Andromeda, thank you. I appreciate the super chats. You guys are super cool.
I think Texas T asked where Kyle is.
Kyle?
That's a joke. That's a joke. That's a joke. That's a inside.
So I've thought about digging a root cellar here. The challenge here is in the places where the rocks aren't, like bedrock isn't immediately below the soil, the water is. So I can dig, if I dig a 1 foot deep hole in 1 hour, it'll have 10 inches of water in it.
For sure. Yeah.
And that's not an exaggeration. And so having a root cellar is kind of like making a swimming pool. And I have one of those. It's an above ground. Again, I'm not rich. And really the only reason I agreed to the swimming pool was I was like, how much water does it hold? My wife was like, 8,400 gallons. I was like, we have 8,400 gallons of emergency water that we also swim in sometimes. Roger that.
Filter it. It's junk water.
Yeah, exactly. Dump it in the Berkey. Who cares? You know?
Right?
Remove essence of bear.
Dad, my water smells like you. Quick, filter it.
Time to change the charcoal filters in
Yeah,
the
right.
Berkey.
Somebody keeps asking about Mayfield, Kentucky, and whether we have an update.
Because we're not in Mayfield, Kentucky anymore.
Right, for sure.
There's no update to give. We were hoping to get a house for that woman, and we were unable to get a house for that woman. And we said when we endeavored to get a house for that woman that it was the Father's will be done. And the main reason why we were unable to get a house for that woman is because of her insurance company. And so, yay, insurance companies. But we deployed there for 26 days straight. We did about 4,000 cubic yards of debris removal. While we were there, we served, I think it's somewhere around 3,000 hot meals, 300 tons of groceries and goods, thousands of pieces of clothing, met some good new people.
Brought some brothers to the way.
Brought some brothers to the way.
Absolutely.
Handed out a bunch of Bibles.
I've been hanging out with those guys at my camp lately.
Yeah. Prayed with a bunch of people.
And trust me, the amount of food and goods is on because I moved a third of that.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you did. You were like Mr.
I spent
Logistics.
3 days moving food from one place to another so that we could have a good storage area.
Every time I saw your truck, it was hooked to the grindstone dump trailer, and your truck was squatting.
Yep.
And it's
Every
a big
time.
ass
Full.
truck.
And it's a big
Yeah,
truck. Every time.
I missed
Yes.
them
And
both.
so, like that. That's not really an update on Mayfield. It's more of an after-action report. We were told by the Father it was time to go.
Bob,
Bear,
does that
did you
sound
ever
familiar?
make a video on how to set up suck a kitchen mission, like a field kitchen? I did a couple of videos on field kitchens on Patreon. When we were in and shortly after Kentucky, and we did a bunch of live streams while we were in Kentucky showing how the field kitchen was set up. It's pretty basic. You need a bunch of propane, you need propane burners, you need big pots and big pans, and you need to know how to cook.
And the food.
If you
And you need
And
food,
committed
and
brothers.
you need folding tables and cutting boards and utensils to prep all the food.
And
if-
committed brothers that'll take care of it.
and committed brothers that'll take care of it.
Yes.
Amen. And ideally, your field kitchen is inside a hard-sided structure.
Yeah.
What were you trying to say over there, brother? I'm sorry.
If you make an 80-gallon cauldron filled with chili, you better have enough people to eat it in a day. Because when you hit day 5, it's a little rough everywhere.
Hey,
It was
you're
good.
you're
It was
welcome.
good.
You're welcome. Nobody's starved.
Containers to put food in
Sucks, praise
is a
God.
thing also.
Yep.
Like people can't put the chili, I mean they can in their hands, but that sucks. So I think like 200 to go containers is probably like $5.
Yeah.
So you find people to give you $25, and then you have 1,000.
Yeah. Food service containers
Yeah.
is what, and prepackaged utensils. It's a big deal.
Yep.
We kept taking all the spare chili that we had over to the guardsmen that
Yep.
were on post.
Yeah, we fed a bunch of people, whether it was the National Guard or the Sheriff's Department or the firefighters. And then what was cute was there were 2 different groups of church ladies that were in competition to keep us fed. And they were getting like violent with us. They're like, "What do you mean you ate dinner? We made you lasagna and cookies." We're like, and so it was like, listen, nobody tell the old ladies that we've already eaten. Right? And so then we were getting like 2 dinners
When
each
they
night.
got to goodies, that's when it was on.
Yeah. What's up, sweetie?
How's getting rid of that dog going?
Yeah, it's going really good, right? We also might have got another dog.
Here, you gotta hold it. Hold it.
Come here. I punched her in the head for chasing a chicken earlier. She doesn't really like me right now.
Sam's like, "I'll come here.
Yeah.
Pet me, Bob." Yeah, Sam. Don't crawl on me now. Come on.
And yes, Sam is bigger than Bob.
We're close.
I'm glad you said it.
I'm not a huge dude, but that's just a big ass dog.
I don't know if Bob would survive getting hit by a 3500.
I'll make it. I won't walk it off. Sam will. I'm gonna need triage. Sam's built different.
What's your opinion on Obama showing up at the White House?
Babylonians gonna babble.
Well said, Bob.
Bread and circuses. Joe has no mental faculties. We already knew this. You're absolutely right.
I don't think he even has bathroom faculties.
No, I think he has diapers.
It depends. Thank you.
So you're saying Joe's bathroom situation is Met TC dependent?
Yeah.
Roger that.
Oh shit.
So,
They're all clones anyway, so was it really Obama?
yeah, I think it was all just a green screen.
Fucking rabbit.
Check
hole.
their eyelids.
They're reptilians.
Damn reptilians. Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
They're all lizards.
Shalom, Liberty.
I thought you were my wife for a second. That's
Nope.
not my wife. Where's my wife?
Still back there. Elle Stone's
Babylonian's gonna babble needs to be a shirt.
It's actually getting made into a shirt.
Is it?
Yeah, that's a Bob thing.
Awesome.
That's a Bob
That's awesome.
Babylonians going
Hey.
babble.
Subscribe to Bug Out Bob. Subscribe to
I'll
Bug
be
Out
your
Bob.
pipeline. We'll cross-post it at bearindependent.com.
Copy.
Have sanctified.
The
Hook it up.
second that my wife sees it or hears about this, she's gonna shit her pants. She's like, I can't fucking make all those shirts.
We got this.
I've had a lot of dogs that were like,
We got this.
Li-
Sold on this
Lizard
shirt.
folk.
Lizard folk.
It's like
Wow,
such a-
that's like the quaintest way I've ever heard it. They're just some good old lizard folk. They like to eat eyeballs and stuff, take over the world.
yeah,
You
they're
know.
freaking lizard
They
folk,
like
man.
to
They live
coordinate.
underneath the ground. Oh, shit.
don't need us.
Good evening, Second Amendment.
Hello, dog.
So, hey, shalom, Vicky Fulkerson.
Shalom.
Hey, she said say hi to Matt for me. So hi, Matt.
Hi, wife.
I ain't gonna kiss him for you though.
Rock pile.
Beard on beard is not allowed.
No beard on beard action. Agreed. Agreed.
I love how your beard is like exploding out of your face.
Yeah, it's good.
He just washed it.
Yeah.
It gets a mind of its own.
Good conditioner helps, you know.
It gets a mind of its own. You know, that's the thing. Like, for a hot minute when it's like short but not too short, it just starts exploding out of your face, and then it gets long enough where it just settles down and all starts falling towards
Oh, I
your
see what you're
chest.
saying, T. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you gotta let it get a little bit longer, and then it'll start
yeah.
cooperating.
Gravity will work.
Yeah,
you have to commit.
yeah, you do. You have to commit. Blake
Oh,
knows what's
I'm
up.
all in. I'm all in at this
Married
point.
and you don't have to worry about the way it looks.
Well, it's kind of like Twitch when he shaved. He's like, I think I'm just gonna shave a little bit off. And I was like, you know, I've never looked at my junk and thought I'm gonna cut a couple inches off of that. And he got so pissed. I was like, nobody asks a lion why it has a mane. It just, it just does, right?
When Jason moved here, I think he's growing a beard to find a wife.
Yeah,
Because
for
all
sure.
the bearded men here, we have wives.
That's right.
It's not bad for like 2 months, you know. And I have to say, the investment in conditioner has offset the cost of pillowcases because if I don't, it just shreds every pillow I lay on. I could clean grills with this thing, so I gotta throw some conditioner in there.
I think I have the longest beard here, and I'm a little intimidated at your growth rate.
What's
bro.
up, Ford?
I'm gonna catch up to you, bro.
Have you been watching David Duban's videos
You and Chris
lately? Seems
Stapleton,
like
I'm
some
gonna put under
wizardly
the
stuff
rugs.
going on.
I still got toothpaste, bro.
I've been, I
Still need to
watched
wipe
David
the
on
braid mine,
Patreon.
Right?
I
Yeah,
haven't
that's
watched
true. I got that for
enough
sure.
Adapt 2030 on YouTube lately, but I watched David on Patreon. Hey, what's up, Devin?
It's just a trophy of a beard, like a chin and a beard.
Bear or anyone, would a mutt work just as good as a purebred dog in SHTF? For sure. Sam's a mutt. Well, he's an Anatolian Pyrenees mix.
A good mix.
And so he's not a. Dogs are more than anything training. You can train any dog to be a good dog, but you have to train that dog. I see this all the time when people are like, I got a purebred German Shepherd.
Train a dog to act in violence when it's appropriate. Yeah, you tell him. If you don't train your dog to act in violence when it's appropriate and when the need arises, your dog's gonna tuck tail and run.
Yep.
Like, for real. Like, just because you have a purebred German Shepherd, cool. Has it been the canine course?
Well, and
Like,
there, like, everybody has a role, right? Like, I think we ask too much of our animals oftentimes, because like a bomb sniffing dog is not a livestock guardian dog, which is not like a personal protection dog, which, you know, like, they all have roles, but all of that comes back to training. What did you train them to do? And if you give them different sets of rules, they're not going to know which set of rules to follow. And so you got to pick which vein they're going to be in and then let them be in that vein. And I don't know everything there is to know about dog training. The reason my dog is well behaved is 90% my wife, because she took the time to train him when we got him, and she did an awesome job with him. But from what I've seen, if you train, it's like saying, it's a lot like saying, like, I don't know, like, I'm white and my wife's Korean and we had this mixed race baby. Do you think it'll be a good person? Like, did you train it up to be a good person? Yes. Did you not? No. Like, who cares?
talk about training people.
Reaching cold mountain before you, untrained dogs will give away your position. That's super real.
That is straight up
Like,
real.
Sam will give away the enemy's position because you will not hear him before he's
He
2
kills
foot
it.
within you.
It's because he's part Bigfoot.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. I've been in the backwoods and I'm like, what the fuck? And then Sam is behind me. I'm like, ah! Don't shoot him! Friendly canine!
You should do that at night with nods by yourself and like lose your ever loving, like damn near piss yourself.
I'm sure.
Because the dog silently comes up behind you and just rubs your elbow with his nose. And I'm the biggest, meanest thing in these woods, right? You know, I've got pistols and rifles. Yeah, next to Sam. Right? The first time he did that to me, it took me 30 seconds straight up of like intentionally breathing to get my pulse rate back down. I was so keyed up, man. And then the second time he did it took 5 seconds. And I'm like, hopefully the next time it's like, oh, that's Sam. But, you know, especially when you're under nods and your field of vision is like looking through a paper towel roll, you know, and like you can't see anything else. And it's.
Well, they can smell it's you from 100 yards away.
Oh, for sure.
But you can't smell them.
We
don't have that skill.
He loves to stalk things, like me or anybody else. He loves it, and he's good at it. I've watched him kill coyotes down here in the creek, quiet as a mouse. Run right up on them, and then it's splash, splash, snap, and the snap is their neck.
Yep.
And then he just comes trotting back, all happy. Hey, Dad, how's it going? I did a murder. And you go and look in the creek, and there's a coyote laying there with its neck. The top of its head is touching its back. You know.
Groaning.
Yep. Oh yeah, he loves that. So, all right, what other questions we got? All caps. All caps.
Mark Chase.
Hey, what's up, Mark Chase? Dogman does happen. Yes. Anatolian Pyrenees mix. Hey, what's up, Trevor?
Oh, dude, freaking dude.
Yep.
What is up, Trevor?
I know,
That guy
right?
is so cool. Dude, the chat doesn't even know how cool the freaking Angry Viking Therapist is.
They could if they went and subscribed to his channel.
They should go subscribe to
Yeah.
his channel.
If-
You're asleep if you are not subscribed to the Angry Viking
And
Therapist.
had they come to men's retreat, which they would have known about if they were on Patreon, and engaged in the men's group Monday.
Dude, that guy dropped. If I said knowledge bombs, it wouldn't be.
It was like
sufficient.
Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Yeah, dude.
Yep.
Like,
I don't know. You might be surprised.
the amount of information
I've had a lot of dogs.
and ability to begin a healing process from traumatic experiences that he gave us in like a 90-minute dissertation.
That was really good.
Was
Yep.
incredible.
Yep.
That dude is awesome, and you guys should absolutely, if anybody is dealing with any sort of trauma in their life, you should reach out to him because he helped me and a lot of other brothers that are here tonight start processing things a lot differently.
Yep.
And he gave us some serious tools to throw in the war chest against the demons that come to haunt us.
Yep.
Hey, we're not in the same camp necessarily, but people in my life I've seen he has helped.
Yes.
Yep.
Like I've heard the testimony, and you could go through all the different camps, and he has helped people through that one experience.
Yep.
He has made a huge difference for a lot of brothers.
Yeah.
Amen, bro. Amen. And on Patreon, I posted the talk that Trevor did at ATS, the men's retreat. So if you're on Patreon, you can scroll back and find that. And I could probably post it again. That'd probably be a good idea. I can go ahead and post it again. And I also posted the talk that I did. And so, you know, which was a whole nother thing. I don't even want to talk about the talk that I did.
That shit was fire.
It was good.
That was the Ruach.
Yeah,
that
amen.
was not me.
Yeah.
7 traits of a man of God.
Yeah. That 15 minutes before it was my turn to talk, I didn't know what the hell I was going to talk about.
Yeah.
And 5 minutes before it was my turn to talk, I had 2 pages of notes that I had to scribble in my truck because the father was just like, boom, 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 boom. So,
I
yeah.
think your monthly subscription on Patreon is worth just those 2 videos.
That's so fucking real.
Yeah.
1 gallon of gas.
For 1 gallon of gas, you can watch not only the Angry Viking Therapist, but you can watch TJ's
The man of
speech.
Elohim.
Yeah, man of Elohim.
Which is the 7 keys of like being a man of Elohim.
Absolutely.
Like I've reviewed those notes.
Yeah, I
from
was
that
there. I
speech.
went back and I've watched both of those
Yep.
repeatedly on Patreon.
Yeah.
You
That's
will
the thing.
get.
Get on for 1 month.
Yeah.
And watch the videos from every month and see how much value you're getting out of it.
Oh, 100%.
If you go month by month, because you have enough time to do it, go month by month and see how much value you get out of it, you will be on there.
Yeah.
Bro,
those 2 videos
I up
alone were.
my subscription anytime I can.
I appreciate you, brother.
Do you live here? Are you still subscribed?
Right.
Yeah, I got this guy my money and I'm sitting next to him.
Yeah.
We're still subscribed.
Yeah, that's so real. Like
6 o'clock almost every morning. It's like, oh, I'm waiting on Bear.
Is he posting?
Well, that's because of the cult that we're in.
right.
So-
Oh, yeah. That's the Kool-Aid, bro.
The AFT cult.
Yeah, it's a shame.
To those folks who
It's
want to know
definitely
if you're around these kind of people, if that's your vibe, Pastor Joe Fox, Viking Preparedness, Patreon. Look up Shofarian culture. Of course, you have to
Oh,
go to Patreon.
Oh, yeah, that was a good video.
That was a cool video, man.
Is that like the Berserker
Good one,
tier?
bro.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it's the
That's
Berserker tier.
exactly
Yep.
us. He did a good job on that one, and that is who we are, man. But the overarching view, the overarching belief system, that's the huge thing.
So I just reposted those 2 videos on Patreon. So,
Well, and I would say look at that content.
hey, I got a pee, so you talk
Yeah,
shit, people.
look at that content, and if you're interested in, what we've got going on here, watch the content, create it yourself. There's no reason that you can't
True that.
follow the same lines of thought processing that we do here.
We need
And-
more of us out there that are not here.
Absolutely.
More people doing what we're doing out there. Like we don't need a huge, massive group here. Like we need those groups everywhere.
Little groups everywhere.
Yep.
It
And
is, yeah.
If you could be the start of that group, how great is that? Especially if you're following Yah and doing what he's saying, he's going to bring the people to you.
Well, and the remnant is real.
Yes.
And why not be part of that? You know, you don't have to be part of this group sitting around this fire right now. There is...
It's coming whether you want to be a part of it or not.
Yeah, there's 7 of us sitting around here. 7 people are not the remnant. You might be part of the remnant.
And 4 years ago, Bear was the only one here.
Yeah.
He was the only one here 4 years ago.
No
People
joke.
Came to him.
Yeah.
So,
And you absolutely can. You can,
Haven't seen
you can
it.
do everything that we're doing. You can be a pillar just like TJ is. There's no reason that you, wherever you are at, cannot do the same things that this man is doing. You may not be him, but you can step up. You know, don't seek other people to fulfill that role for you. Be the person.
Be the person in your neighborhood that everybody looks up to and that everybody wants to be like. Grow food.
Yep.
Raise animals. Read the Bible.
Yeah, and seek the Father. He'll bless you with
Follow
people.
Torah. Get in good with Yah.
Be with Yah. Follow Yah. Everyone else will follow you.
Yeah, they're gonna see your fruit, and they're gonna want to be what you have.
Exactly.
That's super
they're gonna
real.
Want to have what you have if you're doing it the right way.
And then you tell them it's not me.
It's not me.
Yep.
It's
Yeah. Your vibe attracts your tribe.
Yep.
There will be blood. So apparently you've been asking for 2 hours, which is incredible because the live stream's 85 minutes long, about how to get training and equipment. Sales at refugemedical.com. And if you want to go see Carl at Tactical Rifleman, I don't blame you, not even a little bit. Carl's an awesome guy and he knows his shit.
He said he doesn't because we also do their medical training.
Yeah, so whatever. Sales at refugemedical.com. If you have any questions or if anybody has any questions, there's anywhere this evening, there's been anywhere between 500 and 1,000 people on, so I don't see all the comments, bro. So it's not like somebody's like intentionally ignoring you. It's impossible for me to read all the comments. So
fly.
but also just for like general understanding amongst the Bear Nation, if you have a Refuge Medical question, sales at refugemedical.com, we'll answer it. If you got 13 people you want training for, awesome, we do that. Sales at refugemedical.com.
Refuge training. A video.
Hook you up, bro.
So you can just be like sales.
I mean, it's a thing. Like there's a website, refugemedical.com, where there's a contact us page.
And Refuge Training, if you want to get trained by people that actually care what happens to you, train at Refuge Training. You will absolutely love it. Go to the Responder 1 and see how it goes. I went to the Responder 1 and immediately went to 2 and 3 because it was that good. It wasn't just that they were there for your money. They were there because they care whether you're going to live or not and whether you can help somebody else or not.
And correct me if I'm wrong, that was before we knew you.
Yeah. That was before we knew you.
Before you guys knew me, I took the training. And that absolutely showed me what this group is about.
Well, and they don't only care about equipping you with the skills to save lives, but they care about who you are and where you're at spiritually. You know, and if you're willing to sit down and have a conversation with them, they'll reciprocate that.
Yep.
They'll lead you not only in basic skills, you know, and advanced skills of trauma care, but if you want to have a conversation about, you know, the Father, or I loosely use the term spirituality.
Every time we go, every time I go, before class, I'll be reading my word out in the parking lot or something. Every time somebody like, hey man, can I join you? Absolutely. On lunch, every time it's like, hey, I got a question for you. Cool, send it. After class, hey man, I've been thinking about this thing. Yeah, roger that. And so, you know, we're unapologetic about our mission statement to save lives while in service to the Father's kingdom. Like, we're saving lives, but we're saving lives on his behalf. And to experience the abundance of his provision and blessing. And I've said it before and I mean it. Abundance doesn't mean like yachts and condos and real estate and money in the bank. It's all these people that I get to be surrounded by and call them my friends and my brothers and do life with. And so, you know, it shouldn't come as a shock to people that like that's what we're about, because that's what we're about. Refuge comes from the Psalms in the Bible. That's where I got the name. Yahweh is my refuge and my strength. The Lord our God is my refuge and our strength. That's why we're called Refuge Medical. And so, like, I'm actually rereading the Psalms now. Like, you read the Psalms, it's in damn near every Psalm, the word refuge. And King David, man, like, he was a man, but he was a man after Yah's own heart. Like, he, bodied tens of thousands of people. That's why King Saul was jealous of him, right? Like,
T, what's your favorite Bible verse?
yeah. Exodus 15 verse 3. Yahweh is a warrior and Yahweh is his name. And so, and David like messed up. He was like he was lustful with Bathsheba, right? And like he made mistakes. At the end of his life, he took a census when Yah didn't command him to. Like, he made mistakes, but he was still a man after Yah's own heart. And he tried to do the right thing. He tried to be righteous. He tried to serve the Father. And even in the midst of like his brokenness and his sin, he still like prostrated himself in front of the Father and cried out and wrote these psalms, wrote these songs to the creator of the universe, and acknowledged, he's like, I'm a piece of shit. I am nothing, and you are everything. And I'm so thankful that you have put me underneath your covering, because I'm nothing and you're everything. And that's refuge. The Father is my refuge. So that's where that name comes from. It's not like we didn't have like a cool whiteboard session where we were like, I wonder what we're gonna brand this thing as. It's like, no, it was just like clear as a bell. That's it. Refuge Medical. That's who we are. That's what we do. Nate Kuzi. We read, you can use whatever translation you like. I read, my EDC Bible is the Scriptures, isr-messianic.org. It's called The Scriptures. That's what it's called. I have 14 different translations of the Bible, and the one that I read every day is the Scriptures. The next one after that, when I need some clarification, is usually the Complete Jewish Bible, then also the Sefer, and then I have an interlinear Bible, and then I have a New King James, and I have all these other things, and yada, yada, yada. Ford said, hey man, are buckets in stock? Yes, buckets are in stock and shipping quickly. So like, I think we have, 3 pallets of buckets right now?
Well, technically, a pallet of those buckets is also for food storage, but...
oh, Bob, you OPSEC us so hard.
We actually buy our food storage buckets by the pallet. But here's the thing, right? Yes, we have buckets in stock. Just like everything right now, get it. And this isn't a sales pitch. This is me saying shit is running out of stock globally.
What do you do for Refuge Medical? Like, what's your job?
I'm the purchasing agent. So I'm buying that stuff. And like,
so Bob knows what he's talking about.
Well, and so this is a new job because the person who's like the brain behind everything next to TJ did this, and she's like, I literally do not have enough hours in the day. We need to hire a person to do this. And so I'm trying to do this, and it's taking actually both of us and others to try to find all of the goods and procure them.
Yep.
I was on the phone today for probably like 2 hours, maybe 3 hours, just talking to different people all across the country to try to find different products and primary, secondary, tertiary lines of products so that you guys like have fucking gauze. Just straight up.
Good job, Bob.
I was calling.
Watch your F-bombs.
Sorry.
It's a family show.
Family show.
Effing gauze, right?
Effing is cool.
Effing,
You can say
right,
effing.
we'll say effing. I was on the phone with one company because they literally they just disregard some of our orders. Like, we'll order 6 things from them and they'll be like, here's the 5 things you ordered, and we're like, no, we needed the 6th thing. And I've called every single number that they've had. I finally reached a person today. She like bounced off the phone with the manager and was like, yeah, we don't even have that anymore. Like, we just don't have it. I'm gonna see if we're ever gonna get it again. And so the supply chain is 100% crumbling. Get the stuff you need.
Yep. Yeah, I'm on the phone with North American Rescue pretty much every day. I think that's accurate. Pretty much every day. I also talk to H&H. I also talk to TACMed Solutions. I call vendors every day. And I'm like, hey, that date you gave me, not good enough. I need you to do better. and sometimes they're like, okay, we'll prioritize your orders. Other times they're like, dude, you're lucky you even got a date. For context, Quick Clot, the company Quick Clot, the most recent order put into Quick Clot was their largest order ever, and it was 15 times the size of their previous largest order. Okay?
Bruh. Praise y'all.
1,500% larger than their largest previous order. I don't tell you guys stuff to scare you, and I'm not the ShamWow guy. I want you guys to have a good first aid kit. I know we make the best. You can get decent first aid kits from lots of people. Somebody said, Baron Independent, I saw that you're not selling nasopharyngeal airway with lubricant. I'm not selling individual components on the store right now because I need the individual components to build kits. You can't get individual components from North American Rescue. Can't buy them. They're turned off at their site. You can't go to Quick Clot and buy combat gauze. You can't get it. You can't go to H&H or to TACMed or you cannot buy components right now. And the resellers, if you go on like Amazon or like tacticalgear.com or whoever, you know, you can buy onesies, twosies. I saw a 2-pack of $2.97 compressed gauze, a 2-pack for $12.95 on Amazon yesterday. It's going through the roof. It's just everything's going through the roof.
And that costs like 9 cents to make.
Yeah, and exactly. And so I'm not trying to scare you guys. That's never my goal. I'm just telling you the reality of the situation is like things are legitimately getting scarce. And right now it's medical stuff. My question is, what are you going to do 3 months, 6 months, 9 months from now when it's food? Because for like the last 2 years, so many people were like, what happens when they won't let us go to the grocery store because we didn't take the jab? Asshole, what happens when you go to the grocery store and there's nothing there?
Right.
What about that? Who cares if they let you in or not when there's nothing there? Do you know Mikhail Gorbachev? He was visiting Reagan, and he took an unannounced, unplanned stop at a U.S. grocery store, and he walked into the grocery store and was weeping at the sheer volume and variety of foods that were in an average American grocery store. And all of his advisors and everybody came to the conclusion that there's no way they thought this is set up.
Yeah, they thought it was a prop.
They thought it was a prop. They thought it was like just like it was us flexing because we're Americans. And they're like, no, we didn't plan this. We didn't tell them we were doing it. We didn't tell them. This is just an average American grocery store. And he went home, back to Russia, Soviet Union, very quickly left the Communist Party after that. And then very quickly after that, the Soviet Union dissolved because of the provision and blessing of a single American grocery store. What are you going to do when that goes away? When there's no corn pops and there's no celery and there's no milk or it's there and it's so exorbitantly expensive that you can't buy it, or the supply is so low. You think Black Friday's bad when people are stabbing each other for flat screen TVs? Let's insert milk and bread into that.
Something you need.
Let's insert milk and bread into that.
Take an average father and let his kids starve and watch what he does.
That's the thing. And at Squid, back when it was the Squid and Bear show, I miss that, brother. But back when it was the Squid and Bear show, his largest concern was the soccer mom with 3 kids that has nothing but a 38 special. What's she gonna do to make sure that those kids stay fed? And so right now, it's like, yeah, compressed gauze is really hard to get. Tourniquets are hard to get. Everything medical is hard to get. I know you need them. Most of y'all know you need them. But you need them, let's be frank, you need them less than you need calories in your belly and calories in your kids' bellies.
Well, you know, TJ, and you had mentioned too at one point, and I think, you know, the soccer mom's a great point.
but also more introspectively, somebody asked you, I think, about eating squirrel, if the world ended.
Yep.
You said, no, I'm going to have the food I need so that I don't have to compromise that. Do you know yourself well enough to know what you do in that type of situation? Are you going to compromise your morals because you didn't take the opportunity to prepare ahead of time? Are you going to be the person that when your children are starving and looking at you, daddy, daddy, mommy, mommy, I'm hungry, are you going to be the person kicking your neighbor's door down because you didn't take the time when you had plenty of abundance to prepare for those times? I mean, necessity breeds greed.
I want to.
A really good
When you're
motivator.
done.
You got something to say, Rod?
Yeah, I got something to say about that. And hi, I'm Rod. It's dark. I know.
Howitzer Hill.
One thing, I don't do that right now. One thing that, for those of y'all that are living in the suburbs and those of y'all that are choosing to continue to fornicate with Babylon, yeah, that single dad, that dad that his only thing is a wife and 2 kids and and a Glock 19, he's dangerous when he's desperate. That single mom with 3 kids with that 38 special, she's dangerous when she's desperate. What about the gangs? What about all the people that don't have kids? What about all the younger guys, all the guys that, skipping this semantics behind it all, but the guys that do have the training and they do have the equipment and the tactical gear, but they don't have the food, and they live in the suburbs where you are because they like the money that they're making with the job that they have and the house that they live in and the car that they drive. What's gonna happen to the people around you? And you need to really think about that. That shit ain't happening out
They've
here.
already formed their groups.
Yeah, they already
Right.
formed
They've
their
already
groups, and
formed
they're
their
not
groups.
fucking leaving. Excuse my language for those of you that have virgin ears,
F-bomb.
right? But that's something to think about. Like where I was living in the Poconos, I was a half a tank of gas from the largest city in North America, and there were tens of thousands of people that had vacation homes around where I lived for miles. What was going to happen when those people finally decided to leave New York City and to go to their vacation homes that have a half-empty pantry? How long until they start knocking on my door saying, oh, do you guys have any food because we don't have any? You know what I mean? For those of you, you really need to look at the area that you're in, and you can have all the food in the world, you could have all the guns in the world, you could have all the training in the world. If you're not in a good place, physically in a good strategic place, tactics don't matter.
Yeah, it's overwhelming force.
It's overwhelming
back-
force.
That goes back to the wanting to come out of her, my people. Is we used to live in a neighborhood down in Daytona Beach area, and I didn't know any of my neighbors. And we were sitting, I was talking with my wife, and we were asking, like, what if the grid went down? How quickly would our neighbors be turning on each other? How well do we know them? We don't know them at all. And you think, how well do you know the people next to you? Are they going to raid your house for your food to take care of their family? Of course they will.
Yeah, answer is
And
yes.
that was the main reason why we said we need to move out of here. We need to move out to people and live in areas where we know our neighbors, and they're kind of farther away than we used to be.
You
which
can't
is
throw a
nice.
baseball at your neighbor's house.
But if you don't know your neighbors, you're not in a safe place when SHTF. And that's one thing that you really need to be thinking about.
When
Whoa.
everybody starts getting skinny and you're not getting skinny, they're gonna know.
look at you.
When everybody else around you is getting skinny and you're not getting skinny, they're gonna know.
I'm gonna look sexy AF in
Yeah, you
SHTF.
Dude, when COVID first started, bro, we all lost weight
Oh
over
yeah,
there, bro.
Everybody looked great when COVID first hit.
Yeah.
But even out here in the country, like not everybody that I'm surrounded by is my tribe, but they're good people. the people in my neighborhood around here, they're good people. You know, we've got people with solar panels, we've got people with goats, we've got people with cattle, we've got people with chickens, we've got people with gardens, we've got, you know, they're good people. And I know all of them on a first name basis, and they know me.
Oh,
in
those
fact,
people with guns.
yeah, in fact, one of our neighbors had a package accidentally delivered here the other day, and so I hopped on the four-wheeler and ran it over to them, and
How could that happen?
yeah, yeah. And so I hop on a four-wheeler, run it over to them, and they're like, and the guy that I usually talk with over there is a different guy. It's a large commercial agriculture operation, and I was like, hey, I'm your neighbor over here. He goes, oh, the guys with guns? I'm like, that's us. And he just started smiling. I was like, safest neighborhood in the country. He goes, I believe it.
Well, you make a good point, T. You know, if in your accounting for your preparedness, are you prepping for goodwill also? And if you're living near New York or Daytona, or, you know, I come from outside of Houston, Texas, you can't store enough goods to feed the people that are starving around you. But if you
That's super real.
if you live in an area where you know your neighbors, and let's say a few of them aren't necessarily prepared, are you prepared to offset their suffering in lieu of them maybe victimizing you, or attempting to at least? Is that even, can you even quantify what you'd need to do that? If you're in a major area.
You can't.
Well, I like offset their suffering too, because they don't necessarily have to be you. But if your neighbors are in a better position than the people outside of that, you're in a better position.
Yeah.
Yep.
Circles within circles.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And not even from the point of just of protecting yourself and your family, but are you maybe convicted to do something like that?
Well, it's
And
the Christ-like thing to do.
It is.
Right?
that's,
Yep.
that, yeah.
But you have
That's
to
the
be
second.
strong first so that you can help them be strong.
Yeah.
And don't obstacle yourself. I mean, there's plenty of us that came from the suburbs and we're like, hey, trying to get our neighbors into prepping. And the next thing you know, they're like, well, we're just going to come to your house. And
Oh,
No,
I've
you're
heard
not.
that, yeah.
I almost guarantee half of us are going to be
Yep.
like, no, because I can't put that much food up.
Well,
When Billy Joe Bob next door already has, you know, meat on the hoof, and they're already doing the things, it makes it a little easier to set a little
easier.
aside.
And,
yeah.
and
we
we've
already have a rapport.
Now
we've
we're in
got
the
a
water system.
platoon of tillers, like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we have a
And
platoon
that's why you
of,
get to
of
know your
tillers.
neighbors.
Yeah.
And
You
it,
can
and
build a mag in your neighborhood.
so there's a line in my mind, and I'm an absolutist, right? At least in here and in here, I'm an absolutist. I don't do gray area. I'm a very black and white person. We were talking earlier. Dogs. Before we turn the camera on, love that dog. He hurts somebody, I'll shoot him right between the eyes, right where he stands. I'm an absolutist.
Yep.
Right? Like I know where my lines are. If you come and try and take something from me, I will kill you where you stand.
Period.
The end.
Mm-hmm.
But if you need something and I can help you, you got it.
Yeah.
Never come to me with violence, because I'm going to respond in like kind, and I'm going to be better at it than you.
Overwhelming.
Yeah. Escalation of force, 100%.
Overwhelming.
But
force.
if you need help,
Yeah. F around and find out.
yep. But if you need help,
Yeah, we just said we have a platoon of tillers.
yeah, we have a platoon of
Amen,
tillers.
brother.
We're not
We'll
even
hammer
talking
that
about-
into a rifle
We're
in a
not even
heartbeat.
talking about weapons. We're talking about rototillers. Right? Shalom, double tapping hillbilly. That's a good brother right there.
You know, something with that is it comes down to priorities, right? So if you're on your 5th AR and you have 2 people in your house,
Amen.
your priorities are extremely skewed. It is much more likely that you're going to put food in your mouth today than you're going to squeeze a trigger.
Well, and you're equipping
Sell 2
yourself.
5 buckets.
Yeah, you're equipping yourself with violence
Right.
to put food in your mouth during those desperate situations. If you
Great
have
point.
a closet full of ammo and a gun safe full of guns and
Zero garden or animals
none
or
at all.
anything.
Right.
The
No
only
pantry, no buckets.
the only choice you've created for yourself is to victimize other people.
Your rice should outweigh your rounds.
Amen.
Well
Amen.
said.
If
More
you want a
rice
good
than rounds.
indicator, take into account what happened 2 years ago. This whole COVID shenanigan and stuff. If you had your neighbors talking about like, hey, I ran out of this, I ran out of that, this happened, that happened, your neighbors are probably the wrong people to be around. And more so, if you don't know your neighbors and you don't talk to your neighbors, you're in the wrong freaking place.
Well, if your only option to mitigate people suffering around you is ammunition, that's going to result in violence.
Yep.
You're already on the wrong footing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well-
Figure out how to deal with that ahead of time with goodwill instead of just violence.
And it's
He who lives by the
Let me tell you
sword
something
shall
from a
die
guy
by
that
the
I
sword.
brought to.
Amen.
So years
That's a
ago,
good word.
before I even met you face to face, I was watching you.
I'm still
And
gonna know how
somebody
to use
on your channel said,
just
you
don't
know,
wanna have to live
if I starve, I've got an AR-15, and you hammed on them. And I was watching that video. My jaw was clenched. Like, that's right. That's absolutely right. And the point being is that there's a lot of people like us that don't try it. Don't try it. So if that's your attitude,
It's the wrong thing to do.
if that's your attitude, A, you're 100% wrong. But B, you're probably not going to make it. There's a lot of people that are like us that you think you're starving? Yeah, my family is too, and don't try me.
Well,
I'm not
and
taking my last can of beans.
and here's the thing. You're betting the one life you have.
Yep.
You're rolling the dice on the one life you have to think you're going to be better at something that I'm really good at.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that we're
Like really good at.
You're rolling those dice for food.
Exactly. For
You're rolling those
something,
dice for food,
for
something that you can stock
you
now.
can go to Costco or Sam's right now.
Yep.
And I'm no fan of debt at all, but if you're seeing the writing on the wall and you're like, well, I got this Amex, I got this MasterCard, I got my tax return.
Buy food.
Buy food.
Go buy food.
Yep.
Because I honestly believe Q3, Q4 this year, it ain't gonna be there to get. And I could be wrong, and I hope that I'm wrong. But
They're saying it on the news.
Yeah,
they're
Mentally preparing people
the
for that
administration
reality.
is saying it. How bad do you think it's gonna
Well,
get?
and I think objectively, if they're saying it on the news, there's something to listen to that, because whether or not it's going to happen, people are aware of it. You know, beforehand you had maybe, let's say, it was relegated to the prepper realm.
Just mental conditioning.
Yeah,
You
people are
had the
being
global
conditioned.
summit the other day with the guy saying that that energy, food, and supply chain issues are gonna change. They don't know what
Well,
they're gonna look like, but
this
they're
is-
gonna change.
And
This
it's the
is like toilet paper, but food. Whether it's actual or perceived, people will treat it as
Perception,
actual.
Yeah, perception was the word that came to mind. If
Yep.
people have the perception that there are shortages, they're going to react appropriately. And if there's the perception that there's not going to be anything on the shelves, or that they can't afford to feed their families, people are going to react. And, you know, they may, in lieu of buying whatever, a brand new car, may go out and buy that bag of rice and beans that you want.
Yep.
But buying that bag of rice and beans right now is much more sustainable than gunfighting with your neighbors.
And you also don't want to get so conditioned to the, hey, there's no toilet paper. There's no toilet paper. And then, all of a sudden we got toilet paper. Like, it may not be a thing next time. And it may be food. It may be, formula. It may be kids' medicine.
I like that,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna add on that. Don't round yourself out to one thing, because
Yeah.
the news can say, "Oh, ammo prices are going up," and then everybody buys ammo.
Yeah.
Food prices are going up. Oh, everybody buys food. Do it all slowly,
Yeah.
over
Yeah.
time. Like
That's-
Be well-rounded.
Your little family empire. Build all of that.
Yeah, be
slowly
well-rounded.
over
Well, and
time,
if
don't
your
fall into that.
preps are well rounded, then none of this should really affect you. You
Right.
should be able to roll with the punches, and it should be a
Exactly.
non-issue for you.
Well-
only thing
And
that
the
you should-
biggest thing is to go slow. Don't think you got to go out
Good
and buy
point.
500 pounds of rice.
Yeah.
Go buy one bag of rice.
Yeah,
Get some in the
50
store.
pounds is a good
Hey,
start.
what are you trying to say over there, huh?
By all means,
You don't need to buy it by the pallet.
if you have the means to buy a pallet of rice, spread it out. Buy a half a pallet of beans, a half a pallet of rice, or a quarter pallet of beans, a quarter pallet of rice, a quarter pallet of wheat beans, and invest into a grinder.
Yeah,
And
buy
if we-
50 pounds
yeah,
of
but if-
rice and 5 bullets.
Hey, if
You
we
can't-
talk about,
You're walking down that road.
we
and
talk
you look
about
at the
a
rice
staple-
Going, I should buy that bag
Yeah.
of rice because I need an extra bag of rice. It's telling you, buy the bag of rice.
Yeah.
so
and eggs, man.
talking
Get-
about
get
a
what you
staple of
can now.
food, rice and beans is a staple in a lot of third world countries.
Yep.
And it's sustainable. And I know brothers that live there that I'm in communication with. They're like, yeah, we buy it in a little bag, a little vacuum sealed bag, or a little plastic bag, or a little leftover bag of water and of rice and of beans, and that's how they live. And so outside of that, when you think about that, like what we have here and the opportunity we have here, go dump some money on some food. Because if you're not doing it, you're missing the whole get down.
Hey, and if you live in a place where you can't own chickens, you're all the way wrong.
Yeah.
PJ just did a video about that.
To grow more food because I have more eggs than I know what to do with.
And if you're not doing it now, you're gonna say, "Oh, I'll do that in a couple months." The prices are gonna be double, triple in a couple months.
Yep.
I want to touch on one thing too. That's a possibility, and we'll just leave it at tyranny actual here. Depending on where you live and the relationship and the rapport that you have with your community and how you build your community up or don't build your community up, how many people around you are going to dime you out to the authority?
Holocaust?
I think that's great. If you currently,
Who are the gun owners around here? Who are the people with the food?
Well, if you currently have an HOA
who's gonna turn you in?
that's trying to govern your life, if they won't let you have chickens in your backyard,
live in the
or
wrong
put a
place.
garden in your front yard to grow food for you and your family, or if they're worried about whether your inspection sticker's up to date on your car, you don't think they're going to have some type of investment in you when things get bad? Those type of people are not going to.
They're already
If you have an
invested
HOA,
They
you're in the wrong place.
already have their fingers in your life. And if you're in that kind of situation, probably one of the first steps you need to take is to figure out what to get to a better situation.
And no matter how much money they got, they're going to be in the same situation as you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And the people that think that they're going to just bug out into the middle of the woods with nothing.
Oh my gosh,
And
they
they're
might
gonna
as well
do
just
that.
jump up a tall building.
No, but
Hold
I
on.
want to talk
Until the
about
first
this though,
tick
for
is
real
on your
though.
Rod,
For real.
do we not see that all the time?
All the
where we
time,
live?
dude.
time, dude.
But for real,
I'm gonna
if
put a
you-
cabin there with nothing,
if you
and we're
think
gonna
that
live
you're
off the
gonna put-
land.
On somebody
if you
else's
think that
land.
You're going to just show up on a piece of property with nothing other than what you carry on your back, and you're going to be successful. You're stupid. You're going to die.
Yeah.
Game
I'm
over.
telling you right now, for those of you that don't want to leave,
You
your
won't make
job
it
and you
30
don't wanna
days.
leave where you are, but you feel this crap coming. Find a piece of land out somewhere and start getting the infrastructure and the resources and the supply there.
Make
now.
moves.
Yeah.
Make moves so that when your red flags go up and when your indicators go up, you have a place to go. That and
If you live in a place,
Hold on. Let Fo talk.
I say that and don't wait. I mean, I lived in Florida. Hurricanes came in. They said, "Okay, you need to evacuate."
We're
I sat
overloading
in
the internet
traffic
right
for
now.
hours. Just think what happens when
Breaking
the power grid goes down.
The gas
You're going,
pump
"Oh,
shuts.
I'm going to go to the place up in the mountains where I need to get
Is he
to."
able to make it?
He's happy
Right.
with it. This is
Right.
fun for him.
I love it.
Leave before they tell you to leave.
well, in most places too that you might live in, may not have any public land. So if you live in a state, either you're on private property or you're on federally owned land. So you're going to be under somebody's jurisdiction. And if you live in a place where there is public land, every other unprepared Joe Schmo who is not taking upon themselves to prepare is going to bug out to the same place you're going to go. So you're going to be next to Billy Bob, who has no rice and beans and nothing, but may have, a 22 long rifle that he can shoot you in the head with and take everything you have.
And has no problem with
22
cannibalism
rifle,
when he's
he'll shoot
hungry.
you like 10, 11 times.
That's
I wanna-
Rod, that is a good point.
I want to shift gears.
He's gonna
and
rein it
then-
in. Rein it in,
I
bro.
want to shift gears and then end on this topic. And I appreciate the wise counsel, right? In the mouths of 2 or 3, let a thing be established. Well, like 9 is 3 times that. So that's
3 times
awesome.
3.
We love it, Bear. Great brothers, great conversation and information. Praise Yah. Thank you. Who was that? What was I thinking? Homestead. Oh my gosh, I love your name. Yeah, I feel that every day. What was I saying? So we used to call this place the land of almost because when we moved here, almost everything was almost done, and there was like 100 unfinished projects, and I harbored some animosity in my heart towards the old man that owned this place before I did. And now there's like 300 projects that are almost done. I'm like, oh, I get it. Good job keeping it to 100, old man.
Sounds like RPG's Homestead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah.
RPG.
Oh man.
Bless that brother.
Bless him.
I want to end on this topic, and I've touched on it before. I've done a couple of videos specifically on it, shifting gears a little bit, because I know some of y'all are men and women of means. Some of y'all are in a different station of life than a lot of people. You've made your money. You're making your money. You've got money in the bank. You probably have a nice car. You got a nice house. You're seeing all this stuff unfold, and you might be thinking to yourself, well, what do I invest in? Well, crypto, that's like some horse shit right there. Yeah, I can make some quick money, but it's digital, and if I can't touch it, it's not actual money. And everybody just got up in arms. Woo, gold went up 1%. 1%. Like, yeah, just like, I like precious metals as a hedge against potential tyranny and financial collapse in the future, but, you know, it's wealth preservation. It's not an investment. I've been reading a book. I've actually been reading 6 books simultaneously because that's the way my brain works. Like,
F you, bro.
Must be nice. Must be nice, T.
I don't understand it. It's just a thing.
You guys
Okay.
can read?
Eat more crayons.
Get this high Crayola stat. This
Rod can read the colors on the box.
Red, blue, yellow.
This dude's out here.
Yellow's
pouring
my
with
favorite.
grapes.
Yeah, yellow's my favorite flavor.
It tastes like
So,
bananas.
I've been reading a book called Special Operations of the American Revolution, and it's a fascinating book for myriad reasons. But a recurring theme, there's 12 chapters in the book, and in every chapter it comes up, whether it's explicit or implicit. It comes back to there's a guy, and that guy was like the merchant class, or he was independently wealthy, or whatever. And that guy, for example, Ethan Allen and the Green Mountain Boys. Ethan Allen, for all of his guys, he bought all their rucksacks, he bought all their muskets, he bought all their shot, he bought their boots, he bought their pants, he bought their clothes, he bought their jackets, he bought their knives. He trained them. And this is a biblical concept as well. Abraham, Avraham, which means in Hebrew, the exalted father, the patriarch of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, right? Like the guy that the father made a covenant with. Took 318 men of his own house to war in the valley of Siddim because some scumbags abducted his cousin Lot. 318 men of his own house. That's the first point. You don't know who your friggin' neighbors are. Abraham had 318 men in his own house.
Right.
Okay? The next is they were equipped and trained for war. What does that tell you about Abraham? 6 days ye shall labor. He was getting after it. Abraham and Lot had to go separate directions because their flocks and herds wouldn't fit in the same fields anymore. Okay? Like they were getting after it. And so Abraham goes to war in the valley of Siddim, and he's, if you read the word, he's like almost surprised. He's like, holy shit, we won. Like, we kicked the shit out of 5 kings. Not one, 5 of them? Holy shit. And even then there's righteousness in that. They take this loot, right? And they return this loot back to the kings, and he says the only thing that's missing is what was necessary to feed the men while we were marching. Paraphrasing. Okay? And there's a whole long story that happens from there. But Abraham, biblical, 318 men of his own house who were trained and equipped for war. Ethan Allen, Green Mountain Boys, American Revolution, trained and equipped for war. Certain people are at a station in life where you have resources and you don't know what the hell you're going to do with them. Train and equip your people. Pour into them. Stuff is cheap. It really is. In the big scheme of things, people are incredibly valuable. Incredibly valuable. The whole reason we do this thing in the first place is to maintain normalcy for the people that we love, right? And so who are the people that you love, and how do you train and equip them and pour into them? Maybe what you need to do, if you're that person, that man or that woman, is hold a training event for all of your people, okay? Whatever that might be. We're gonna have a ham radio class. We're gonna do a TCCC class. We're gonna do a Stop the Bleed. We're gonna go to a Rex class and
Gardening.
learn long range shooting. We're gonna learn. We're gonna learn patrolling. We're gonna buy your guys and your girls, whoever it is, a whole bunch of FMs, field manuals. And this month in this group, we're working through this field manual, whatever it might be, right? Some people are in a different station of life, and that's okay. Like, we don't need to, this whole tax the rich horse shit. You guys would be disgusted at the amount of money that I have to pay in taxes, and I'm not rich. I've never been rich. I've made some money in my day, but I've been exorbitantly bad at saving it, historically speaking. Some of y'all, and I know you, I've met a lot of y'all. Some of you have more money than you know what to do with. Some of y'all don't. That's okay. But the ones that do, what are you pouring into? What are you building? Who are you training? Who are you equipping? Who are you mobilizing? And by the way, just because you're the guy that's got the checkbook, that doesn't mean you're in charge either. And so that's something you need to check your ego at the door with that. But if you can equip and train your people, because especially as a freedom-loving American patriot, well, there's a huge historical backlog of that, right? Like, it's a thing. It's how America became a thing. And it's also, there's biblical precedent for that as well. And so the bow that we're going to tie on this conversation this evening is, if you're one of those people that needs to be trained and needs to be equipped, you find yourself in a different station of life. Where can you plug in, and how can you be a good subordinate leader? How can you be an asset to a group or to a tribe or to a mag or to whatever it may be? If you're one of those people that's in a different station of life, where you have deployable assets and you don't know where to pour them, you start pouring with your people. I joke occasionally around here, sometimes I get a little pissed about it. Hey, I can't be the supply officer. But I kind of can. And I kind of am. And that's cool. And it's cool. And at the end of the day, it's like, I don't need a Ferrari. I don't want a Ferrari. I'd rather have a Cat D6 high track before a Ferrari.
I don't think you'd fit in a Ferrari, bro. not in a bad way, bro. They're just tiny cars.
But
Is that a frick finger?
yeah,
That was a frick finger.
that was a frick finger. So
Your name is Bear.
I wonder if your training can be done at my school to supplement the BSL cert. Yep, absolutely. Email us, sales@refugetraining.com. We'll handle that. For sure. Email us, sales@refugetraining.com. My point here is, when that opportunity presents itself, don't be thinking about things that don't matter. Another house, another car, another vacation, another fancy dinner somewhere.
Expectations.
Think about how can you pour into the people that are around you.
Yeah.
And what you'll find is, if and when you do pour into the people that are around you, the return on your investment is like tenfold, if not 100-fold.
Yeah, 100.
Hello, sweetheart. The father tells Isaac when he plants, he says, I will, for every seed you plant, I'll return your investment tenfold, 30-fold, and 100-fold. It's a minimum 10x, right? And so where are you planting your seeds? And that's what I wanted to leave y'all with. Hey, what's up, Saws? Shalom, brother. We're going to come see you and Rex soon in North Dakota. And so, again, getting back to training, equipping and training, if you have the opportunity to pour into people around you, you should do it, because fancy things ain't gonna mean shit here in the near future. But your people, there's nothing more precious.
Amen.
And with that, I bid y'all a wonderful evening, and I'm out.
Roll up the green screen.
Shalom, y'all.
Shalom.